Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
So much, sir. One by one, okay?
Yep, sure. Oh, you want that in there like that?
Yep. Thanks a lot, sir. Here. Thank you so much, sir. Good day, sir. How are you?
Good.
Fine. Here. Table one. Which one? Let's go on by chair. Oh, which one?
Jamie.
So my expenses, Mark, you're still very interested, but just get on.
Good to see you.
See you. Let's get back to a thing, mate.
Is it?
Thank you so much. It's Tony Boucher, he's fat, mate. He was an alcoholic. I just see him on his face.
Yeah, you see the bloodshot face.
I've even told that by Jeremy Bonetti, who's in Boucher. His wife is Jocelyn Boucher. Now, I've only just received a text from the balloon service. He was coming out 12 and we say, look, we've got automobile problems. The Peter can't be here from
Yeah.
So he's doing 11 out here. That's what they did to us the first time. Remember? Yeah, we'll just wait till fucking half a day and we'll call you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that out. But we've just only received a text. Greg Stacey has just received a large file from collection sometime in the last 24 hours.
Well, that's a pity, isn't it? Because they should have had it sorted out weeks ago.
He's just said he's going to go for a dismissal. Thank you. They were ordered with yes.
It was ordered weeks ago for all that shit to get sorted.
So yes, it's going to be dismissed. Right. Doesn't bother me because we've still got the CIV, still got the notice claim from the Auckland District Court.
Yeah. Still on record, yeah.
They were going to put me on 13.
Yes,
we're willing to supply to do that.
Hey?
I'll do a verbal application immediately for that.
Oh, if you want me to record the...
Yes, I'll
sure,
do a verbal application this morning.
I don't know how much I'll be able to get to.
They were putting
I've got like 8 cameras in here, so...
They were putting me into 13.
Yeah, I noticed the old classic switcheroo at the last minute.
I was thinking, well, this is pretty stressful. I was thinking, this is pretty serious, and we're not making it according to all this.
See this? Courtesy of police, through and through.
Well, I call him POC, which is Pearl the Cock, but he's... you know, we met him yesterday afternoon. When you texted me, I was with Peter, with him for an hour and a half, and he's just come to me this morning saying he doesn't... He can't understand the profit exchange. I said, look, no one understands.
Well, he's a lawyer, he should.
Right, you are, Mark. But I said, Tony, I bought a orange highlighter. I've got an orange one for you, I've got a green one for the judge, and a blue one for the prosecutions. And you guys
can just look at what...
anything you don't understand, you through it.
Yeah.
But I'm pushing for my witness coming today, which is Peter.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's back.
Good. I had some fun last time with the parking when I went to get out of here.
Well, what happened?
Across the road there. I was there for, a couple of hours? I'll take that.
Have you been shifted? What are they doing?
No, just cameras. But you're not allowed to wear them, of course. This was $20 on trade me.
See, I investigate all humans. Who knows who she is, what she's doing here? Okay. Sorry?
Not dangerous. No, you don't look dangerous.
But you are a human. Okay. Most definitely so. Thank you.
They're saying that this disclosure was received on the signature by Ethel Jones on this.
I beg your pardon. I hope you've got the signature here, Tony.
So there are two parts to it. The discussion of the original thing on the
Can I just ask, how would you like me to refer to you?
I suppose we just call me Jamie today. I'm Jamie, acting for Jamie. Well, I've got now. No. What can I call you? Who are you, please?
I'm acting for the Ministry of Justice.
He's from the Crown, James.
Okay, I've got a blue highlight for you. Now, so you've got a green one, why don't you do a blue one? I want you to work with the blue one. I want you to highlight it, stamp it. So you've got to look at this for you, please.
I don't think so.
What's your name?
My name is Mr. Walton.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
This is my...
Well, even a week ago, isn't it? Even a week ago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie, that's looking like a peer, which I can really understand the issues to the you. I'm sure you'll tell me plenty of other ones as well, but I'll just let for you.
What's your family with?
We're the crew.
That's the Walker, isn't it? Normally Walker.
No, it's
Walker's Walker. It's the Walker.
You've got my second claim up. You actually don't need
Usually, we're on the first round, what do you know? Hopefully you can read that. Mr. Walker.
I'm not here to argue that close.
What do you read for? What do you read for? What do you read for?
So I'm appearing in relation to the outstanding
I think I'm going to cry today. Call me mate, okay? Let's just keep this pretty professional. Oh, no, sorry, Tony, I'll put you there. Graham. Come on. Let's just go through this. This is what we're going to be handing out to the section.
You have to
So, how come this is all getting to the well, this is just a summary for the court. It's hearing the related to our this is what this is here. Let's go through it. So I just want to understand, right? Because it's just that proposed that we're not going to go to court. You know, what they say, since 1988, you impaired top line taking 34,000.
It was all done, that's wrong. It was all done in 20 months plus order operation.
Yeah, okay, no, but this is what
That's wrong.
Okay, but it confirms what you told me, Jamie.
Yes.
Is that in 2012 you were sent to 100 hours community work in lieu of 5,000 of unpaid fines?
Appeal.
Right, I understand. 3% 6 months imprisonment on 12th of June for criminal harassment. A hearing that now, this is what you told me. A hearing in the district court held on the 9th of July in relation to things unpaid fines. Our prior month, the defendant charged certain fines, which is what you told me you did. There were certain fines of that $30-something thousand that you said you were right? Yeah, I understand that from 2009 to 2000 now of $4,663. But according to the older disputed fines. The basis for the dispute appears to be that those fines related to debts you did not own and knew nothing about. Right. So, on the 9th of July, pursuant to Section 88, the court sentenced you to an additional 3 months imprisonment for the total amount of $31,283.
Unlawful.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate that, but you agree with that, right? They imprisoned you.
Unlawful.
Yep, okay. The older disputed fines were deferred until the defendant's release date are outstanding. The footprint note for the collections unit dated 26th June 2013 state, these fines were incurred in vehicles which are currently registered people, entities other than the customer, you, although the customer may well have been driving the vehicle when the infringement notices were issued. However, in the interest of streamlining collection, submissions for the customer's fines court here and the Deputy Registrar is not at the moment placing these before the DCJ to consider a substituted sentence. Right?
What does that mean, sir?
Well, it means that you were disputing them. They decided, okay, let's put them to one side. We'll just sentence you on 31,000, not on 30.
Well, what have you done? What have you done jail time for? So I'm walking out of here.
You've done jail time for 31,283.
Yes.
Because they deducted that from the original amount of $34,867.
It's roughly £3 different.
Now, they say also, following completion of your sentence of imprisonment at the end of 2013, you incurred a further $2,436 in traffic-related fines and other levies.
Possibly, I haven't looked into that, but as I said, I'm not going to address that until my counterclaim suit first.
Well, they're dealing with it today.
No, well, I'm certainly not. They're not going to redraft me.
Okay. On 20 September, following a warrant to arrest, this is what you told me, the defendant attended the Auckland District Court to discuss his fines. No agreement could be reached regarding an arrangement to pay the fines, so the registrar prepared a Section 88 report.
You get one.
And there was adjourned today, the court made more of the discovery of the documents. They say that the documents were sealed under signature.
Yeah, hang on, now, Mark was there, and he knew quite specifically that they were supposed to have it back to me 7 days after the last hearing. So I'm not even going to enter into this one, but my counterclaim suit, and I would like you to speak to the court about that.
That's for you to speak about, mate. I'm just here to make sure that you get your hearing time and that you get your message across.
I'm not going to come in here, okay, no problem, yeah.
Okay?
Rude. 2000,
30th of March, they say, Samantha Parks, the Minister of Justice,
so hang on, so they're willing to let the £5 go? They're going to dismiss that?
Well, I think actually this is...
The judges and
Wait, madam.
We're going.
I
just want to go there.
Okay.
So this bank received a return relating to outstanding fines, and I've just received it. I've just going through it stage by stage with him, and I was wondering whether or not I could have another 5 or 10 minutes just to go through it with him so that we know I'm obliged.
All right, well, I'll just go out, give you a chance so that both of you have a chance to get the most recent.
Okay, I'm obliged to you.
Yes?
May I speak, Your Honour? Whilst you're in the chambers, whilst I'm with my hammer, perhaps you would like to read the last ruling of the last judge. That would be helpful. This is not helpful to me, what we're discussing right now. Thank you, sir. Which I still haven't received today, by the way. Which I still haven't received today, by the way, from this lady or this person.
Hopefully this will give you a chance just to look at it.
No. What you've just received, I haven't. I'll press that lady, Your Honour.
Just hold on, we'll just make a copy of it and you can copy.
I don't wish to read it today, I'm like, yes, I will take a copy today. I've got a full set here, so.
I'll wait. It's just-
No, I just want the copy of the changes, the order from last hearing.
Hold the time.
Thank you, sir.
Let's just keep going through the same, because I think it's quite important.
Thanks, Jamie. Yes, brilliant.
I'm unable to see you without having the, I've said one memorandum and I'll list that in
Right, so where we're at the moment is, just so we recap, there was originally $34,800 owing. You had a hearing, you got 3 extra months, but there was $4,600, what they call the older disputed
Tony,
fines.
I know what this court's trying to do. How do we draft them?
Yeah.
How disgraceful. Who do they think they are?
Now,
You see what they're doing, Mark? Pathetic. So, I'm not even going to make questions of that. It's going to be in a German, and I'm not going to hear that until my counterparties have it.
they're not going to do that, mate. They're not going to do that.
Fair enough. That's what they're going to have to do. We're adjourning today.
I don't think he's going to do today, mate.
He's going to have to, because that's what I just said to him, Judge, he respect the order.
Yeah. Well, here, look, there's an affidavit of service from Samantha Parks here.
Who's
Right?
she?
She's the collections.
She's the little girl sitting there.
One of the women there.
Who's Samantha Parks? Is that the little girl sitting down there?
I think that might be the one. I'm not too sure.
Right, she says that on the 30th of March 2017 that she posted documents to Jamie Lockett, 668 Main Highway, Opia,
Haven't come 30th of March, interesting. 30th of March 2017, posted documents.
Yeah, fine summary, payment transaction.
So whereabouts? 668.
To, yeah.
Okay.
She was going to send it to 2 addresses.
Well, you've been checking the letterbox every day, and I've had somebody
Remember you gave her another address as well, and she
Greg
said she
Evans?
was going to send it to both
667.
places, just in case.
hasn't come.
Okay.
Definitely has not arrived within 7 days.
She says, I also served the documents on Jamie Lockett at Foy and Howells Barrison Solicitors, attention Greg Denham, 539 Mount Eden Road, Mount Eden, in New Zealand by way of New Zealand Post.
Okay, well,
Okay?
well, they've only just.
That was on the 30th. They were now on the...
There's no way.
So that was served on Anzac Day?
No,
Or,
hang on,
or yesterday?
No,
Or today?
30th of March or April.
Yeah, so 23
When did she serve it for?
and a half weeks ago.
On the 30th of March 2017.
3.5 weeks ago.
4
4 days after
I was with
or
Greg last night. He said
2
that was
days, or 1 day after your last court hearing.
He can come to court and give evidence to that effect. So they're saying she served Greg Denham's as well.
On the 30th of March.
So that was literally 2 days after your
Who's
last
the
hearing.
signature?
Don't know.
Oh, she posted it. Hey, look.
Maybe they sent it by registered post or something.
If it's sent by registered
It's-
post, there's a signature and there's also
It's
a printed
definitely
name under it.
not. I was up there for 2 weeks and checked the letterbox every day. It's not there.
Well, you've given them 2 addresses and they say the other service was Greg Denham.
They're not there. I've just received a text from Greg. What do you think I'm so upset and angry? Well, let's carry on, Tony. This has gone on for too long.
Okay.
I'm not avoiding the situation. I want the situation hurt.
It was going to be here today, mate. This judge is going to hear it today, one way or t'other.
Well, he's got documents.
Well, I presume he has got the...
I don't care what he does. Either way, I'm going to appeal it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, no.
Peter's coming in at 12 o'clock to give evidence. I'm hoping that he's going to allow that.
Okay. Now, I just want to keep going through this. This is what they say the hearing today. Firstly, it's the older disputed fines, $4,663. Then, since your release, you've incurred another $2,400.36 in traffic-related fines, what they call the more recent fines. Following a warrant to arrest, you attended the Auckland District Court. No agreement could be reached regarding the arrangement to pay the fine, so the registrar prepared a Section 88 report. 18th of October 2016, the defendant refused to appear before a community magistrate for the 88A assessment and requested the matter be heard before a judge.
Hang on, where about you reading that?
I'm reading it on page 2 of this document I've just given you.
So this one was just given me today. So we're reading which one?
Page
211. The 211. The defendant first appeared at court on January the 20th, 2007. The matter was adjourned as a further hearing on 200 months. The court made an order. Was it so refused? Oh yeah, on 18th of October 2016, the defendant refused to appear before the community. That's false. It's a false allegation. Okay, that's a horrible false allegation. Now, how can I respond to that if it's given to me today?
Okay. It's not really what this is all about. It
Doesn't matter.
It's just smoke and mirrors, mate. The defendant first appeared in court on the 20th of January. The matter was adjourned. At a further hearing on the 29th of March, the court made an order for discovery of documents. On the 30th of March, Samantha Parks of the Ministry of Justice served the defendant with the documents by way of post to 2 separate addresses. By way of affidavit...
I'll ring my address right now so you can hear it. Okay?
What?
You listen to this. Okay, I'm going to ring the address.
What address?
My address, and you listen to this. Please, give me a minute.
Well, how's this going to help us, Jamie?
It's going to prove to you, and I've got a witness here. Okay? Well, listen to this. We've checked the letterbox every day. Grace and Jamie, I'm in the courtroom and the judge is listening. Can you just answer a question, please? The judge is listening.
No, the judge is not listening.
The amicus is listening. The amicus curiae of the court is listening. Now, did you check the letterbox every day for documents coming from me around the 30th of March 2017?
Yes, I did, outside 668 Highway 11.
Thank you.
Where I reside.
Did any documents come there for me?
Not for you. There was none addressed to you at all.
Yeah, now I was up there for the last 10 days and I checked the letterbox as well. Have any documents come there yesterday?
None yesterday, no.
Okay, thank you very
It
much.
was a holiday. Yesterday was a holiday, of course.
Or the day before. Any documents arrived since I've left the dealership?
No.
Thank you.
None at all.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later on today. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Right, there you go.
Okay, well, they say it went to Greg Denham's office as
No,
well.
that's my address, and I was up there waiting for
Yeah,
them.
but you gave me 2 alternative addresses.
She's just said she served Opua.
Yeah.
I was up there waiting for them.
Well,
I drove up there.
Okay, but you don't ignore the fact that you gave them 2 addresses. Greg Denham's and your address up north.
Well, the
He's only just
primary address was
Well,
his.
Yes.
2 addresses were given.
Yeah, the second
So
one was to help the Department of Corrections.
Okay, well, the judge...
You've just heard, as an amicus, you've just heard they didn't come there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, now, it's clear that 2,400 in fines incurred subsequent to the 9th of July hearing have not been remitted. Right?
You see these
There is-
it's a joke, isn't it?
No, I'm just telling you what they're going to... This is what's going to happen today, mate. Firstly is that there's a possibility that what they call the older disputed fines might have been remitted, may not have been. The main issue here, therefore, is whether the defendant's 4,663 in older disputed fines are properly owing. That's what the dispute is. You say they're not.
I said, no, I've already paid them.
Okay, let me just read it with me. Right.
Yes?
This is a matter for the court on all the available information. Factors to consider include whether the old disputed fines were remitted by the court on the 9th of July. And you could actually argue that.
I'm not going to argue. I've already done my deposits with the notice to admit facts, Tony. I've got my witness coming at midday.
Okay.
I'm not arguing anything today, thank you.
Whether the defendant has taken any steps to challenge the older disputed fines, and whether or not you are liable for the older disputed fines. That's what they're saying. Now, in relation to whether the older disputed fines were remitted by the court on July 2013, you've got to go to that footnote of collections to decide whether or not collections were saying, okay, we're not going to pursue this. They had the opportunity, they didn't at the time. You could argue that they should, at that time that they were remitted. Would you agree with that? Go to
$4,000 worth of $5,000. Let's
Yeah.
talk $5,000, yeah?
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, let's go to $5,000. So when you had that hearing, and you got the extra 3 months, they remitted 30-odd thousand, and there was the remainder that was left in dispute. This is what they have written as a footnote.
No, but
following that hearing.
I wanted that to be put into the jail time as well. So if I'm doing jail time, do it for the whole lot, and I'll still
Okay.
dispute it up.
Yes, okay.
They're misleading the court.
No,
And I've got Judge Burnett's.
Yeah, but the Crown is accepting that there might be an argument for that.
Who is?
The Crown. That's what they're saying here.
Hopkins or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they're saying here, Jonesy.
Okay, good, yes, let's
Okay.
move along, talk.
The main issue is whether or not the older fines, right, let's call them the old fines, are still properly owing. There's a matter for the court on all factors to consider whether the older disputed fines were remitted by the court on the 9th of July 2013. And you go back to this memo.
Look, these fines that may have possibly been incurred in the 2000 were possibly from my own jurisdictional place. I've got my own number plates, Tony. I don't deal with your world.
Yeah, but no.
You know that.
Jamie, let's just stick with what we've got here. This is what you've got to argue today, mate.
I'm not arguing. At all. And I want that to be made that very clear to you, Tony. At all, am I going to do an ounce of breath or oxygen or argument? Got my witness that's flying over from Western Australia going to arrive here at midday.
What is your position with regards to the fines that you've incurred since then?
Oh, well, I'm not sure what you've been talking about. It's only just been given to me 5 minutes ago. If anything, I wouldn't want to address them until my counterclaim's been heard, Tony.
Well, they're not going to do that, mate.
I don't care what he's going to do, then I'll appeal his decision.
Yeah, well, you've got every right to do that.
He's only a low-ranked judge. Can't give him into touch.
Yeah.
You know how the rules. You've had some fun with these judges over the years. Oh, crikey.
Now,
you know, he seems like quite a nice man. He might rule in my favour. I've only just been given this today. I am sick of the unprofessionalism of this department.
Okay, right. Now,
Meredith Connell.
So,
I don't know who Meredith Connell are.
Well, the Crown.
Well, he's going to speak first. So, look, he probably will waive the 5K. Right, Johnny, we'll take that one off. And today I'm only dealing with that, but I'm not going to deal with that unless my counterclaim's, I might think about paying out my counterclaim sorted.
Now, what he says is in relation to these new fines.
I don't know anything about these new fines. Don't forget, these people have been giving me tickets off about $35,000 worth of all sorts of names and number plates. I don't even know.
What he says is this. There's a proper statutory process for disputing court-imposed fines under Section 78B of the Act. That identity was mistaken. So what this is doing is really opening the door, because there's no time limit on this, is that you can actually dispute the fines themselves, these new fines.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to deal with them once my counterclaim's been heard.
Well, I'm not going to return it for any counterclaim, mate.
Well, really, I want him to say that in writing. Yeah, that's where we're going. Yeah, that's where we're going to write. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, it's more than likely he might sentence you today on all the fines, mate.
I couldn't give a flying whatever. He's going to sentence me to what? $2,000 in fines, put me back in jail? Good on. Bring it on. I'll pass my phone over to you now. Bring it on, Tony. You want to throw me in jail? How dare you? I'll be warning the judge pertain to that. Peter's got my keys.
I've got Peter's number.
If I go to jail, everything that I've got, Peter's coming. You've got Peter's number?
Yeah, I've got it from last time.
Right, so everything's sitting there.
Let's go. I'll take care of it for you.
Amicus, I instruct Mark to pick up my belongings. If this judge wants to throw me in prison and treat me with incarceration, I instruct Mark to pick up. And I'm going to deal with that today. How dare them give me that today? And I haven't even received documents at 668 Potty Highway. And I went up there, and have you not read my memorandum?
No, I have not. Okay,
well, what are we even
give me Greg Denham's number, mate. Let's see if they were served on him.
He didn't really answer his phone. He was there. Greg's 09 623 6062.
So where were the documents signed? The signed receipt? Was that at the 668?
You just heard Grayson. I went up there to wait.
Yeah. I'm just saying if there's a signature, then because I've done this myself, I've gone to the registered post. If it's been sent by registered post, it's a printed name.
How are you? And I'm just sitting on Amicus and Jamie's matter with the fines before the court. We've just received an affidavit from the collections department in regards to the service of the disclosure that was ordered by the court. And she says, Samantha Parks, Minister of Justice Collection, says on the 30th of March 2017, I also served the documents on J.B. Lockett at Foy and Holtz Barrister and Solicitors, attention Greg Denham, 539 Mount Eden Road, Mount Eden, in New Zealand by way of New Zealand Post. Did you receive them? What date did you receive them? Yeah.
Different matter, Tony.
30th of March. Okay, well, yeah. Now, yeah, and did you get further disclosure in the last 24 hours? Did you get some further disclosure in the last 24 hours? Well, Jamie's just shown me a text on his phone to say that you received something in the last 24 hours from you, a text from you. No? Okay, mate. Okay. Right. Mm.
So you got notified about the pile being there since the 30th? Yeah, which is what he just said then, bankruptcy, yeah.
Mm.
Different document.
Okay, can I just ask you, is this to do with these fines thing? Is this from collections? So these documents that you received on the 30th of March are not from collections. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, have you got all that stuff? When did that arrive? Yeah. Okay, so you received on the 30th of March. Okay, right. Okay, thank you. Right. So that's your record as well. You received on the 30th of March.
He's told you now after Anzac Day.
Yeah, they called all of it. Yeah.
So why didn't he tell you for 3
That's
weeks?
good. Cheers.
Okay. Right, okay, what's happened, he thought they were from the OA, he told me the files came from the OA, and I said, we'll pick them up as soon as possible. Peter was going to pick them up, so he never told me that they were from Samantha. He just said they were official S&E documents, it was the McDonald Bank
What was
documents.
this text you showed me this morning?
That's from Peter.
Who's
That's from Peter, saying that,
you told me you got a text from Greg
Yes.
this morning to say you...
no, from Peter saying Greg says he's just received a large file from collections.
Or has he got that
Sometime, I'm not sure.
He hasn't got it from Greg.
Okay, so what Greg's just said, okay, I'll probably to what he just said, and he said that the file, he's told me that the file was the McDonald Vague file, which is my official S&E file, not the collections file. I was up north waiting for it to come there. They've sent it to Greg Denham, so she said she sent it to there as well, but you just said Grayson, it didn't come there, and I wasn't there. Greg hasn't told me it came. I was with him last night, he said it was a file from the official S&E. I also would have gone and picked it up last night. Yeah, so we'll fuck. Yeah, I'll deal with it, Judge. Unbelievable.
I guess what I'm saying is, there's a possibility here, Jamie, that if we can get rid of the old fines and we take the new ones on the chin
I'm not taking anything on the chin.
by way of $20 a week.
Nah, you got to be joking.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in jail. Oh, counterpart. problem. Bankruptcy. Okay. So I'm going to have to seek an adjournment. No, he's just said to Tony Wayne, then you just said to him, okay, she doesn't. Unbelievable. Okay. Unbelievable. What time can you come in? Can you be up there? I'll just say that you've had, we've got motor vehicle incident and you'll be here at midday. Okay? Thanks. Bye. Right.
So you now have a read of it, and you are to get it from collections, and you can do this time to go
I was misled.
But this is the third one for the rise. But anyway,
I went up to the third address, so then I always rang the third address. Dear company, no documents are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, is that broadly the issue that we need to deal
well,
with? I just
not
try to make
issues you want to
it
deal
easier.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've got other proceedings on foot, Jamie, and this
Yeah,
case
we'll
here
be
is
done all, but
fine.
I'm still getting money. I don't really want to deal with these counts. I've just said to Tony, I don't want to deal with this until my counterclaim's heard first. I'm not going to squabble over $2,000 when you owe me 110 or 18 million. Proceedings are sitting in your office.
One of the questions I had is, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is two sets of lines there. There's the more recent ones and the older ones. Is my understanding correct that it's just the older ones that we're currently disputing, or what are we doing? What are we doing with this? Okay.
I'll take them all.
I think that's what we've got in two parts. I think there's possibly an argument, I suppose, that they were dealt with at the time, and there was the opportunity. And you did dispute them, didn't you? Maybe you can prison, but maybe not that.
Disputed them. He never.
The proceedings were in August, going on. I started suing the Department of Corrections by way of notice of claim.
That's fine. I mean, it's a matter for you to raise it under the judge, and I'll just let the judge deal with it. Yeah. So you're obviously you can make that argument. And then what about? So that's the older disputed fine.
Yeah, right.
And what about that?
I don't know any time. You guys owe me.
Okay, well I think I'll just let you talk to the judge about that, and I'll just sit there.
It doesn't bother me which way this court rules, because I'll still appeal it. I'm relighting the proceedings against you next week. I'll be called to relight the claim.
Yeah, matter for you, obviously.
For 35,000, I'm relighting that one.
Recording the matter of Jamie Lockett.
Morning, Sam.
Have a seat, Jamie. Mr. Vice-Chair, have you had Jamie, I've read most of the material. I've read your affidavit and in it there are references to the last material, the disclosure to be provided. There's an affidavit, I don't know whether you've seen it from elections, and that affidavit speaks of sending the material that's required to your address by New Zealand Post, and I understand you see that, but also to Foy and Holst. So I take the affidavit at its face value, and I understand that the solicitors did receive the documentation, but had thought it was from a different source than the Department of Leisure. Is that right?
Not sure if you know that. Because the time should tell me.
Because you see,
Well, I'm dealing with my official estimate as well. Greg did notify my provisional trustee, Mr. Peter Holmark, who's already submitted affidavit of support as well, to offload from Western Australia. He can be here at midday. He's got an automobile problem. Yes, they did say that the file had come. It was by official estimate file, which is from the liquidators insurance. Not very Colin Douglas. But yeah, you'll misunderstand that. Although I went up to my address, which is the other one, immediately after court case to go and be there for the documents. And the amicus Tony, who I've known over the years through this court, even witnessed and heard me speaking with, if not my father, say, they had me come, and I waited every day for them to come back. I only came back to go to town Monday to meet with the amicus the Tuesday afternoon, which was yesterday. Alright. And I had dinner with Greg Denham last night in Parnell over noodles, and I did ask him regarding my files at his office, and he said only the official SB one. I said, brilliant, finally it's come. Never mention of the Department of Elections. So I sent you, this court, my memorandum immediately after the last presiding judge's orders, and then went up to Highgate to wait for them. And so here I am today with, Mayor O'Connell serving more documents on me within the court.
well, apart from the issues about disclosure that you want to consider, reading these documents, it looks to me as though of the fines that a portion of those fines were pre you doing the 3 months cumulative period of imprisonment that was imposed on you by that year. For my part, I wouldn't, notwithstanding what's said on behalf of the Department of Corrections, require you to pay that money where you got the 3 months. So I won't be imposing anything in relation to that. But the other part of this is, after your release, there appears to be about 2,500 approximately, I'm not being precise, that was incurred post your release. Now you, like me and other people, can be irritated by receiving fines for various infringements, but they've got to be paid somehow, or there has to be some way of sorting those out.
I love receiving fines. Not a problem. No issues with it.
Well, if you haven't got any issues with either paying the 2,500 odd or else me imposing community work as an alternative to it, and I know that you've got your own proceedings that you're taking, but I can't take any notice of that because they've got to be resolved before anything can happen about it. So setting those aside, if you would either enter a commitment to pay an amount to settle the amount, or accept a sentence of community work in substitution for it, then I'll do that today.
Oh, look, Lorna, thank you so much for your offer. I'd like to pay, although I will not, sorry, thank you for the offer. This matter of these alleged fines will have to really slipstream my counterclaim, not only against the Department of Collections, also Mirror of Economy, which I have live actions. Well, I have proceedings at Mirror of Economy pertaining to all these fines.
But I can't do anything about that. You see, I don't know, your claim may be 100% valid, you may succeed in everything that you ask for.
Of course I will. I know all, Your Honour.
From where I sit, all I can deal with is these fines. I've got them here. I have to find a way to resolve them. The reason I want to resolve them is I don't want you to end up where you did last time, which is somebody who takes a view of this that I think means that you end up suffering.
Well,
like you did last time. I don't want that to happen.
$50,000 a day to incarcerate me, Your Honour. I'm hoping we're not...
That also is something I'm not...
I'm just letting this court know in Mirror of Economy on $50,000 per day in prison. That's where we're going with the last one.
Well, also, there's a personal cost to you, but I don't want to see...
I can't comment on that $2,000 worth of fine because the Department of Collections has been misleading. Right today, it was justice delayed, justice denied. Midley, lovely Greg Denham, who's a gentleman, and my learned friend, has misinformed me. Although, to remind my memorandum, I went to Aotearoa and patiently waited.
I understand that, but I can't be held responsible for New Zealand Post. They say they sent it, I don't know what happened.
Sure. This is New Zealand Post has been strangely losing quite a few files, and this is the problem where my original file was lost that was sent to me in Waikato prison. And I hope you've read Peter Polvar's affidavit in support of my case.
Well, I've read that, but I can't claim to understand it because it deals with...
I've brought a highlight on you, if you can't. This is here it's for you. I highlight anything you can't understand. So can I please bring that up?
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
What are you doing?
No, I don't need to highlight it.
You sure? Look, I brought this to you to highlight anything you don't understand. You're on. Look, whatever decision you make today, I'm simply going to appeal and grapple. I hope you receive the fine. From the last order up to
That's something you've got.
what's something else?
What I would prefer is to have you in a position in these years that you're not in jeopardy like you ended up before. I'd rather you were in a position where you know what the story is. It's not going to be something that's going to end up with you having to face some punitive consequence. That's what I would like to avoid.
Look, you put me in jail as a terrorist. I've been in jeopardy for 20 years and went on bail. Doesn't bother me. I've normally got about 15 policemen with guns in my head and tapes throwing me into prison. So you just do and deliver what you see fit. And I'll deal with it within the 20 days. Which is, step it up to a justice that can hear these matters. I seem to be going, I'm on the merry-go-round in this court too.
Well, I was hoping it would end to that, but if I can't, then I'll just make the decision and then you're free to apply for... I'm not sure there's a direct appeal against a decision on fines, but you may have the ability to apply for judicial review if I haven't heard you or I failed to take into account matters that I ought to. So you may have that, but I'm not sure that there is a right to appeal to these things.
I believe I've got a right to reserve the right to have that notice that a state institution of any country judgment.
Well, you could apply for that, I mentioned.
Certainly will.
I would be granting a stay.
You want it, I know that. I want these matters placed in front of justice.
Well,
I'm aware of your position,
I
sir.
imagine that anything can help you, at least to tell you what...
It hasn't helped me one bit, apart from coming to court saying he couldn't understand it either. I don't really want to talk to Tony anymore pertaining to these matters.
Well, that's unfortunate because I've seen him a number of times, and generally what you get from him will be sound legal advice.
I totally agree with you. It's his good wife that gave me bail as a terrorist. I'm the only terrorist in country who will be
I
bail.
don't have anything in front
You
of
know,
me
he's my friend.
that is an allegation against you. The only allegation that I've got, and it's not really an allegation, is that there were some unpaid fines, and I need to try to find a way to resolve that. That's what I'm here to do. If we can resolve that between, if we potentially could resolve that between you and I, then that's what I would do.
Are you willing to adjourn till after lunch to my witness I've got from Australia to clarify to this court my position? He's just had a car problem and he can be here at midday.
Well, I can adjourn until after 12 to give you a chance if you've got somebody who
Yes.
wants to do your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
I'll just hear from Mr. Wilkins because I've been telling you things, some of which are to the disadvantage of his client, so I should give him the opportunity to comment. That's nice of you to say so. It's not what you've got in your memorandum, and I can understand your client's position. But for me, somebody that's been incarcerated for 3 months and fine matter, I won't add to what they've done because that's enough as far as the previous stuff.
Well, as from the memorandum, the Ministry of Justice has got the view that these fines are still outstanding, but that is your honour's position.
Well, it runs into me, and I won't add that. So I understand your position.
Sir, just one more thing saying what Walters has said. Judge Burnett, she is under investigation, and my side, from my ministry right now, for criminal allegations. I quite clearly let her know that I'd live, active CIB proceedings in this court, signed by Teddy Bear, who we know as Graham Mackay. Again, lock, stock, barrel.
Jamie, I have to tell you, it's in line with what I told you before. You may have proceedings that are 100% valid, that entitle you to damages of all kinds, but I can't see them, I can't make the decision about them, I couldn't take them into account. Until they're resolved, wherever they're going to be resolved, they remain unresolved matters. So I can't use them in any way to deal with your clients. You need to be clear about that.
Right, my witness has just said he'll be there at 11:45.
Well, that's fine. I'm going
Thank you,
to
sir.
adjourn so that you've got a chance, and if you can let the registrar know, when you have your witness, I'll come back in and
Brilliant.
hear what your witness has to say.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just stuff in here, you all? Yeah. So we have a change to 11:45? Yeah. Yeah, cheers.
Jamie, let's get on the corridor, mate.
Have I? Oh, I've got my witness coming, no point.
I'm not right. Yeah, listen, I just want to tell you. Now, we've got rid of
I know, I did that.
the 4,600.
I know that.
Which only needs to be.
Counterclaim, please. Oh, God, we're going to make it happen.
I just want to tell you about strategy. Because you're all about strategy, right? Now, this last lot of fines, which amounts to $2,600, will occur after you were released from prison in 2013, right?
Well, Bullock's Johnson.
So anything from here back, forget about it. This is all we're dealing with at the moment.
That's right, I want a counterclaim, I want $1.05, so let's leave them both.
$1.05,
I'm not saying that.
No, wait, Steph.
Well, I'm happy to, hang on, I'm happy to pay it. I'm happy to pay it.
Yeah.
Once my counterclaim.
So that's something that happened, mate. I'm going to deal with that to deal with today. But I'm giving you an opportunity. There's something here you might be able to argue to give you time to your counterclaim. I'm giving you an idea.
One for my counterclaim?
Yeah. Really? Now, when you receive fines, you know that you can dispute those fines.
Oh, we're video through that stuff.
Yeah, just hear me out.
One way.
Okay. Now, the grounds on which you can dispute court-imposed fines are your identity was mistaken.
I'm not going to argue
You
with
did
the
not.
jurisdiction.
No, please. Please. You did not get a reminder notice. This is all in that. This is all. You've already got this document, okay? You did not get a reminder notice. You did not get a notice of hearing. The defendant asked for a hearing but did not get a response. The defendant did what the issuing authority asked him and let them know that he had done it, that is the admitted guilt. The defendant had more time to ask for a hearing. The defendant asked for information that was not provided. The defendant paid on time. There was another error in the process of the fine being sent to the court. Right, now, there is no time limit on you disputing the fines. Right. One of your strategies, if you want this counterclaim to be heard before the fines, is you say to the judge, right, we've now got rid of the old fines, finished. We've now just got the most current fines. I now want to have the opportunity of going through those fines and having the opportunity under section...
They only served on me today, Tony, so I have to go home and my lazy boy and a cup of tea to think about it. They didn't give them to me today. You know the rules, you know how it works.
Yeah, but you know you've got to think on your feet in this game, mate. Nothing ever is go away and sit in the lazy boy and think about it.
Most definitely so.
Well, I'm just going to give you this advice, as you could say to the judge respectfully, we've now dealt with the old stuff. We've now got the new stuff. I want the opportunity of going through these and under Section 78B of the Act to challenge each of those fines, and I want the court to give me time to do that. See, it's only 2,000. It's no fucking big sum now. It's only $2,400, $600.
Well, I'm going into the ground for over millions. I just Bill English is, you know, he can pay that for me. So, look, I'm not. Don't redraft me into that, Tony. Look,
No, okay, that's what I mean.
You know, it's cool enough. I appreciate that, Tony. You know, I don't really want any animosity with you.
No.
I don't love your wife. I really respect your wife. Everyone. So that's, you know, that's why I want to, you know, I want to speak well of her in my book. And believe me, I'm writing one. So,
okay, so
I don't really want to come into bad terms with you.
I don't think the judge is going to put this off for your civil litigation. If you listen to what the judge says, he's not going to do that. He's going to deal with it one way or the other today.
Let me get some advice from my provisional trustee. As you know, he's coming here in another 45 minutes. So I'll buy Mark a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll speak with my provisional trustee.
I'll see you up here about 11:30.
Cool, thanks, Tony. Awesome.
Good one.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tim.
You got any cigarettes?
Yep.
Oh, I said, well, I don't want to do that. I had a couple up north.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've been stopped smoking, Tony. I had, when I was up north, I did smoke up a packet.
Yeah.
But I did stop 2 months prior to that. You slopping? Yeah, I'm slowly, I want to stop it, yes. I do. I hope I'm with Mark.
I'm horribly addicted, mate.
Good.
You know, you can get some advice off you.
Get into-
I think it's the smoking, mate.
Get into vaping. Vaping's killed nobody. That's
What
what
a-
they all
oh,
say, isn't it?
What a judge Bush here when she heard you got me. Oh, it's going to be action. Bitch. You don't have to tell me, I'm not going to beat you.
I remember it was, Jay.
Hey?
Buy you a shirt and a pair of glasses so your trial can go ahead.
What's that?
One of your trials, she had to buy you a shirt and a pair of glasses.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yes. I think, yeah. It was good humour. Shut up, muck around with it, mate. No, I've had enough, right?
Well, you got $2.5 grand off this morning, so that's
No, you're
win.
$5 grand.
well, yeah. Well,
No,
I thought 5 was
but
half.
I'm bringing it back on though. You're recording? That's right. But it's cool. It's I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's good. I'm happy
These
for-
might
yeah.
have run out.
Okay, look, I'm happy.
They only have so much
Okay,
battery
this
life,
is-
but yeah.
He's waived the. I hope you're recording, right? So he's waived the $5 grand. Well, that's fun, right? But guess what? I'm bringing it back on again. I'm going to reignite it.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to. They want to hear that before you get your
They don't
counterclaim.
want to hear it. They think that
No, what I'm saying is they want to hear their shit. They want to hear their shit before you get to do your counterclaim. As opposed to you winning the counterclaim and then having something
Can
to.
you see what they're doing today?
Oh yeah, oh I
They
see,
ju-
but they're
they
just
just
trying to
want
get you to settle and end it.
Redraft.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to. I'll $1.05 them, right? So what they've done with the $5 grand.
Cool.
What they've done with the $5 grand is made it's gone, which is hilarious.
Yep.
Okay, it's gone. I let Meredith Connell know that it's coming back on, and that's what the bankruptcy is all about. Now, I can't bring the proceedings back on until I do that, which we're doing right now. And Greg Denham admittedly did let me down a little bit.
Yeah, because it sounds like there's just either whether he's misdirecting you or miscommunication.
Well, the file came with official S&E.
I would have thought he would have looked at it and reviewed it before he told you what it was.
He did. He did tell me it came, but he told me that the.
But he didn't say anything about Department of Corrections, did he?
No, he said the official S&E file came. Great. Brilliant. About time. He said,
Would
"Well,
it not have said Department of Corrections if he had reviewed it and looked at it and noticed it was about that instead? Or
it came with the
the
official
affidavit.
S&E on top.
Exactly.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he hasn't done anything wrong. I haven't done anything wrong. I went up to Apua.
The hell's this problem?
You want a coffee?
I don't actually drink coffee, but
okay.
but
Yeah, what do you
I'm all good. I've got a can of Monster in the car. I mean a can of Monster in the bag there.
Well, I still got Peter in town to give evidence. Now, he's going to give evidence containing the bills of exchange and the counterclaim. Brilliant.
Yep. Use this one.
Don't really want to be smoking on, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's alright, I'll place it that way. We'll clean the... Carry on.
Yeah, no, you sent me something on Facebook the other day, and I haven't had time to get onto my laptop.
Oh, that was just a friend request. I'd noticed your name pop up, so I just added
Yeah,
it
no, I'll
as
do
a-
that. I'm going to go to Taupo tonight with Peter and deal with all that sort of stuff. I don't really like Facebook, although
I don't use it a lot either.
you sent me a new video.
Yeah, that was the upload of your unlawful. I mirrored it on my site for you. There's already been like 50, 60 people viewed it already of your unlawful detention on Glenfield Road there.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I see somebody's coming out. We go somewhere else.
I can do. Put all this shit on.
Brandon, I'll speak on camera.
Yeah, cool.
It's a bit too noisy there. I talk to Mark and Thanks.
Oh, the fun and games.
Oh, I'm going the whole way. Peter wants me to go the whole way as well. We want to get a precedent case.
Yeah, you
we
need
want
to
to learn as much as we can what the judges do. Okay, because we want to streamline this later.
Yeah, it sounds like he's just sitting there wanting to hear the case of the fines, and that's it. And now,
Well, that's what
now
he's
just
trying
the new fines.
Okay,
But
so
he's trying to get you to re-indoctrinate
Here's
back
a good
into it
place to
again.
sit, eh?
Yeah.
District Court there on the time.
Drop me the tripod, yeah. We'll do that afterwards.
So what film did you put up on YouTube? Me,
That
myself.
one of you, the poo lice. No.
Oh, good, you put that one up on your one.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Excellent. Okay, because some nasty comments I think have been coming in, but I'll
Yeah, there was one there. Some Dean Manson guy was going on about how you're always doing this and never following through and all this shit, and I'm going, mate, you don't even know him.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, that's condemnation without investigation. It's the height of ignorance. You know,
I'm not even worried about the bad comments
yeah,
anymore.
I don't either. I just block them.
I'd like to try and get that movie over to America.
Oh, well, this I have subscribers who are around the world, so
Yeah,
they all see it.
oh, they'll see it.
Yeah, everything I post, they see. I post pretty much daily when I can get around to editing.
I'm pleased already that Obama's been served. You told me that. That's good news.
Yeah, that was really chuff. And Michael Robinson is Michelle Obama's actual name. It's a boy.
It's not even her name.
His name, Michelle Obama, is actually a man. She's post-op transsexual.
Okay, so you're saying that
They've actually produced the birth certificates again about her, and why she took off and left the kids. Obama's kids, the actual parents of those kids, leased them off to them. It's all just been fabricated. It's a soft coup. They're trying to do a soft coup over there at the moment.
I know they've got serious problems. Okay.
I watch it just for humour. Only in America, that sort of idiotic shit. But then you're seeing it here too now.
So smoke this. That judge is actually, he can see I'm not happy.
Yeah. He seemed like he was being quite reasonable. But
reasonable.
how did he know?
Yes.
How did he? It's the only way, because you and Tony had only just.
That would make my day if I had a spare smoke.
That's all I got. It's my dog.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Hey. Yes, I picked up on that straight away.
How did he know?
He was listening. Thank you. You picked up on that.
He had no, because you had only just come to that conclusion.
Let's talk about that, eh? Let's talk about that on film now.
Okay, Jamie, so we've just been in there. We heard that after you just having a discussion with the amicus curiae and deciding what the relevant matters were, and then you turned around and the judge come out and said the same thing without even being told to him. So, what do you reckon?
Well, I addressed that in court, as you know. I was horrified myself. So he can only have been listening to that conversation in private that we had in that little booth.
There's no other way he could have known that, because only you and I and the amicus curiae were present.
There's no other way. And he heard me speaking to my service address of 668 Waihere Highway, whereupon no documents came there at all. And we've been looking at the box every day.
Yeah, well, that was on the phone, confirmed.
I was actually quite shocked that the judge made that comment.
Yeah, he really did tip his hat there, because he told you something that he wasn't informed of and yet knew. So
yeah, I think the amicus has lured me into that room knowingly. He's trying to redraft me at all times.
of course he's trying to get you just to settle the debt and not go further. You just want to appeal anyway, so it doesn't matter what he tries to do, as long as it's not settled, I would think. If it's still live, and it sounds like Tony's trying to get you to delay it, to carry it on. Yeah. In a way to
as my good grandmother said,
anything after but is nothing but bullshit. So he's now working against me. He's trying to redraft me,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to do. Wow, that really blew me away. And I picked up on that straight away. How did he know?
So did I. Like the way the security guard got it when you went to go and give him a highlighter. Is a highlighter a dangerous instrument?
Mark, how interesting that the judge said he couldn't understand. How interesting that the amicus curiae said he couldn't understand.
They're supposed to understand it.
Ignorance to the law is no excuse.
Section 25, Crimes Act.
Right you are. So I've had to go and take time out of my life to learn that act and statute.
I've got it right here. Section 25, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
So should they.
It's just crazy because they're saying they don't understand you denied justice.
No, I believe I've got a private place being listened to. That is of worry, of what's going on in these district courts. That's of great concern to me now. And now this is, if not anything, the public should know about this. This is now, what do you call it? Public significance.
Yeah, matters of public significance, yeah.
With what just happened up there.
I cannot fathom how that judge knew that specific bit of information when you and the amicus curiae had only just come to that conclusion.
That's my private telephone calls being listened to by a district court judge unlawfully. There's
information being passed on without the proper way it's supposed to be happening. That's obvious.
So that judge has just been sitting in chambers listening to our private conversation.
I'm curious, we have to have a look if we go back in that room and see if there's any sort of listening device or something.
I believe there's listening devices in every single room in that court. And possibly even, there's a camera up there.
Oh, they're everywhere.
So we're being watched as we speak.
Yeah.
Now my provisional trustee, who's actually my notary, who's notarised all documents pertaining to this matter, is on his way to the district court now. He'll be there at 11:45 and he's going to give evidence regarding the bills of exchange, regarding payment of the fines.
Because that's what you need to address the fines at the moment. Your counterclaim he's not interested in listening to. So
no, he's trying to redraft me into argument and acceptance of the fines and brushing aside my counterclaim.
And Tony's trying to point out, well, you've got this avenue, this avenue, this avenue, but you don't want to take them because that's just redrafting you into further dispute.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to get you back into dispute instead of trying to settle.
That's correct, Mark.
Because if they're keeping that argument alive, they're still getting paid. That's all it is.
I'm going to look at the legal side of it. I'm going to look at the legal side of him listening into our private conversation. That's below the belt.
Yeah. I honestly, because
I'm so pleased you witnessed it.
Yeah.
You picked up on that like I did immediately in courtroom number 10.
That information wasn't brought to his attention, so how did he know? It's basically the simple way of putting it. I mean, you, Tony, and the other guy, Watkins, or
Meredith Cotton. He's the lawyer.
They discussed it in the courtroom before the judge was in the room. They came to that agreement as well. They decided that you've been given the wrong papers or not been given the correct information by Grant or whoever. But the judge wasn't in the courtroom when they came up with that decision. So he had to have listened from elsewhere.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you for being assertive towards this very event. I'm still blown away by it, Mark. It just shows you what these public servants are doing behind closed doors. To entrap the sheeples or the naive or the unskilled or the not wise people.
Yeah. But then, Most don't go out there looking for knowledge, do they? They just go out there looking for the dollar to live.
Well, what we're presenting to this court, Mark, has never been done before
Yeah.
in the 20th century. No one's challenged the rules
We're in
of
the
exchange.
21st now.
No one's challenged the rules of exchange like we're doing.
Yeah, I had a read through your 17-page document.
Yeah, and we have case law precedent pertaining to fertiliser whereupon Justice Cook has said that the bills of exchange is equivalent to cash. They don't want this to get out there, Mark.
Yeah, well, remittance advice is a form of cash.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you know the old accept for value type thing?
So the amicus curiae have no help to me, that's He, in that court, has said he didn't understand. The judge has said that he didn't understand.
So where are you supposed to get your understanding from?
Well, I don't stand under them, Mark.
Yeah, but that's the point. Where if they don't understand something, how can they possibly make someone else understand their position if they are not fully understanding it themselves? It's the blind leading the blind. It's like being a Japanese with a Mexican and a Mexican's your tour guide.
They've made the $5,000 of the fines go away. Now that's humorous. Now I expected that to happen, Mark.
Because you'd already served time for that previous stuff, so he thought, that's it, you've done enough. 3 months jail was enough to get rid of all of those $35,000 or $4,000 worth of fines I was still talking about, yeah?
They don't realise that I'm coming back with my counterclaim, which means you've got to pay me 4 times the amount, which is, I suppose, well, that's within the laws of equity.
Yes.
They're lucky that I'm not tenfolding it. That's possibly where it's correlated. But we'll keep it to 4-fold, which is within the laws of equity. They're not prepared to release me out of bankruptcy. Now, I've been bankrupt for, I'm a little longer serving bankrupt in New Zealand history.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because I didn't disclose my assets until some 6 years after I was served bankruptcy notice of $9,000 pertaining to a private search warrant, stemming from this very, very court. That's what we're going to do, is take it back to its cause. So whilst I'm bankrupt, and we only disclosed, and I've since learnt a little more, whereupon I can now manage my own estate.
Sure.
And I even asked the official assignee at the time, I was disclosing my toothbrush, which is brought from Hankins safe for $2.30.
Yeah.
That's the only asset I've got left.
Sure.
They've raped me of everything else.
Yep.
So I didn't make disclosure until some 6 years later, because I went to the High Court on, first of all, they charged me with terrorism.
Yep.
They withdrew those charges and then filed indictments for unlawful possession of firearms, which is just made up crock. And that, I was on bail for 5 or 6 years pertaining to unlawful possession of firearms, whereupon they withdrew. Now, what got interesting about that, and this is all relevant to this case, is that I'm unable to sue the Crown as we speak, because I can't, and their acting statute doesn't allow me to serve proceedings until, whilst you're bankrupt, you can't do proceedings. So I'm dealing with the official assignee right now, and that is even more interesting than this case.
Okay.
What's getting very interesting. So what I learned through the High Court is that it took me 5 years to ascertain that Justice Judith Potter, who ruled against me over my private search warrant, it took me 5 years to find out through the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, that all her search warrants were ruled unlawful pertaining to the Operation 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can't use it.
You see, so it took me 6 years to find that the judge said to me 6 years ago that my search warrant was the worst one she'd ever seen and ruled against me. I waited 5 years, I got arrested for terrorism, withdrew those charges, then they charged me with
Firearms.
firearms charges as well in Operation 8 down in Ruatoki, and it took me 5 years to ascertain that all her search warrants were ruled unlawful. So I've got something now, I've got new evidence to now go back to the cause of the search warrant and reignite my proceedings, which is the fourfold, against Meredith Connell, the Crown solicitors, who were in there today as well. They were keeping very quiet.
They would have been acting unlawfully back then because it was an unlawful search warrant. So they had. So you can go back to them and chase them for it, or?
That's what I'm doing with Greg Denham as we speak. That's why the big file that's sent to his office, and that's where this Ministry of Collections file has obviously been put in.
Shuffled into it.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Not quite sure. We'll get to the bottom of that probably later on today, or if not tomorrow. Well, yes, I'll get to the bottom.
I would have thought if they're separate matters, they'd be dealt with in separate postage. No, so?
That's, well, we don't, I'm not going to comment on that
Because
part.
if he doesn't want to deal with your counterclaim, and yet they're sending you the paperwork with this one, inside other shit that's to do with other matters anyway.
Mark, I can't comment on that.
Yeah, there's your
because there could have
confusion.
been two parcels sent to the front counter. She might have signed them both and put them together. Greg has just looked at the top, and he notified me 2 weeks ago that there was a file there from the official assignee.
What I would question is Tony was saying there's a signature receipt for the postage that was sent to 668, yeah?
I'm not looking.
I would ask for the signature of who proved that.
That's a good point, Mark, and that's something that I will look into. But they've brushed that aside.
Yeah, that's what
they're trying to redraft me on the two.
You need to segue back to those same questions until you get an answer, instead of letting them sweep it under pull it back out from the carpet and say, hey, I haven't got an answer. Point of clarification, you know? You need a objection point of clarification. You need to know.
Correct, because I would like to now become a plaintiff pertaining to the fourfold, which is that notice of claim that I served on Department of Elections in 2012. Don't forget, Mark, I've been arrested unlawfully 3 times since I did that. So as soon as I served the Crown, the notice of proceeding, then came the pressure of arrest, unlawful incarceration, which I'm appealing.
The threats, intimidation, yep.
Terrific. I should write a book about it. It's disgraceful. It's a little bit like what happened up in that little private room we were in, and the judge knew everything pertaining to that. How bizarre.
Because Tony had walked straight in the courtroom. There wasn't a time where us 3 weren't separated for him to find that out.
Unless the little Meredith Connell scuttled out to private chambers.
Possible.
But then again, he didn't.
He came down from the other end of the walkway when we came out of that room. He wasn't in the courthouse.
So you see where I'm going with the bankruptcy. I've got to get the bankruptcy set aside. It's only for $9,000, and I let it go for that long to keep the Crown off me.
Sure.
As you know, all these drug dealers and proceeds of crime, they'll just come and take your assets until you're broke.
Sure. So if you're bankrupt, they can't take it. Yeah, that's a good cover.
Yes, I use the bankruptcy as a tool to say, stay off.
Exactly.
You break me enough, now just back, there's nothing left.
Can't touch me.
So that's why I left the bankruptcy in place.
Yeah. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yes. Now, through the new evidence, which is now 3 years ago, through Judith Potter, I've since been arrested each time over the 3 years and put in jail unlawfully. So consternation has set in. And if you look up the word consternation, that means in the dictionary anxiety, comma, dismay.
Sure.
So I'm in dismay. Every time I come out of prison, my assets have gone, my computer's gone,
Does that not make you a vulnerable adult?
As I said to you, look after my staff if they suddenly throw me in prison today, which they want to do that? Did I not warn the judge?
Yeah, it sounded like you told him 50,000 a day for jail.
I fair warned him.
Yeah. I can testify to that. So, but I don't think the judge is of the opinion of making you, he seems to be being almost Mr. Nice Guy and saying, I don't want you to suffer anymore, Jamie.
I'm getting that impression as well.
So I don't think he wants to put you in jail, he just wants the matter resolved, but you're not letting the matter get resolved because you haven't been given the information.
Right you are, Mark, and this is where a maxim of strength is justice delayed is justice denied.
Yes.
I'm not going to be redrafted into a $2,000, and he's already said it's a minimal amount. Well, hang on a minute, you're a judge earning 400, 300 grand a year. $2,000 to the average village person is a substantial amount of money.
It's a month's rent.
It's a month's. It's a
month's worth
so
of food. 2 months
I
worth of
thought
food.
that was a little bit rude of him to make such a claim or comment. So
how did he come to the conclusion of your status? I suppose would be it. Or is he just
I believe they've had a lot of discussions in private leading up to this.
And I noticed when the judge asked Watkins, or whatever his name was, the Crown,
Meredith Connell,
yeah,
Crown,
when he asked him a question, he didn't answer the judge first. He turned back and conferred with the amicus curiae.
I couldn't even hear him. He was actually
Yeah, they were whispering
low.
extremely. So I'm wondering, why did he need to talk to your amicus curiae first before answering the judge?
I'm not sure the laws pertaining to an amicus curiae, Mark, although the amicus curiae is appointed by the court. So their mates.
His duty, first and foremost, is to the court. If he's part of the Bar Association, that's where any lawyer's first duty is to the court first and to the client secondary.
That's correct.
Yeah. I've got that on video from the New Zealand Law Society. I asked them.
So, 11:30.
Yeah.
So Peter's coming. Peter's extremely learned pertaining to the Bills of Exchange Act and the process of acceptance and delivery, which we've done, which they're trying to avoid. As you know, I've served the notice of facts, which I've given you a copy of, that's within the High Court rules, which is the Judicature Act, High Court rules, G35, G36, notice to facts, very powerful document. That's the document I later on served on the Department of Elections, where they remain silent. That is the document that opened doors to proceedings by way of statement of claim upon the Department of Elections for 4 times the amount.
Yeah.
They owe me.
But they don't want to hear that until they sort out their side of it.
And I don't want to hear any matters until well,
How does it go? Once you've made a counterclaim, can they proceed with the original claim until the counterclaim's been heard? Or that's something I'm not certain of.
That's right. Well, this is what Peter's going to explain. My witness is going to explain at 11:45. So, yeah, I want to reignite my proceedings from 2012 or 2017 now. So 5 years later, I'm doing a lovely frisbee back. I call it a frisbee document. So I'm going to do a frisbee back in because I've had consternation. I've been wrongfully arrested 3 times up north.
Yeah.
I'm in the Court of Appeal for the middle one. The last one I got arrested, that was dismissed.
Why do they keep arresting you? What's the charge, I guess?
Trespassing an undesirable out of one of our houses, whereupon the undesirable, the undesirable breaching all the terms of tenancy and conditions. Well, we didn't even have a tenancy with us. I trespassed an undesirable from one of our 9 properties.
Right.
And upon the trespass, I touched him on the shoulder and served a trespass notice. He went up to the top of the street and said that I assaulted him because I touched him. So the police came with about 5 police cars, armed and dangerous, with tasers and guns, threw me in prison for 4.5 months. For assault, threatening behaviour, burglary for entering our own home, and also threatening to kill some other young 17-year-old who only made the complaint when the police came to arrive.
Which are all baseless.
Wasn't it? Yes. So the police have taken advantage of the complaint and have said that I've threatened to kill a policeman. That's why the bail was denied. So I was in prison for 4.5 months, so all this got to go away. And when I came out of prison, my computers and files were gone.
Yeah. Clean it all up.
Yes, that's what this is all about. And the original file that Little John had was given to my provisional trustee who's coming down in 15 minutes. It was given to...
This afternoon.
Just worry that people who sit next to me.
That's alright.
So,
Got my eye out there.
yeah, so yeah, everything was... So Little John gave the file, which is the bill of exchange, all the documents and notice of effects and the dishonor certificate. It was given to Peter Colvast, who posted it to me in prison.
Okay.
Well, Mark, guess what? It never arrived.
No, lost in the post again.
Doesn't matter. We've only just found the original documents on the big hard drive system only last weekend. That's the reason I went down to get those.
Yeah. Across.
Yeah, I'm not going to say on the film where. I don't want to disclose that address.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, we only found copies of those documents only last Tuesday. I've got them here to submit, and Peter's going to submit them at 11:45. So keep an eye for Peter. He may turn
Yeah, I am. Is the judge going to accept Peter's testimony today?
He's going to accept my witness. You heard him?
Yeah, he said he'll listen to what he has to say.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. It's better than last time. A month ago, they didn't even want to listen to Peter.
Correct.
Because it was just a preliminary hearing, mind you, just to get a date. They just needed to get jurisdiction in the first place.
No.
Wasn't that not a preliminary hearing?
No, that was another definitive hearing. This is my fourth. They are trying to delay it as much as possible. They think that I have no knowledge or wisdom. They don't realise how far we're going to push this. We're going to the very end. We'll go to the highest court of New Zealand land to get a precedent case. Well, we've already got one today, haven't we?
Yeah.
5,000 just disappeared.
Yeah.
Poof. Go on.
Amazing how they can just magically make that happen, isn't it?
Yes,
So it didn't exist in the first place then?
Well, what it shows you, Mark, and I'm glad you witnessed to it, is because most people don't realise you can do this process. They're not smart enough. They're scared to come to court. They're scared of the police.
Fear of authority.
Yes.
It's a nation of fear, mate.
Very much so.
It's gone. The common sense is gone.
Well, they've dumped an extra million people into New Zealand, doubled the police force to justify
12,000 now, isn't it? 12, 13,000.
And they're going another 1,000 more policemen because they know there's groundswell and they're trying to shut it down.
I don't think they're going to be able to stop fuck all, to be quite honest. It's going to happen, one way or the other.
Yes, that's what I've said. Yeah, as I said to you, made it clearly, I'm prepared to go to jail if they want to throw me in jail. Although my provisional trustee and my good self know not to enter into argument. That's what Tony Boucher was always trying to do. There's an argument there, Jamie. I don't need to argue.
Keep pushing you to
I've
argue.
still got my notice of facts. Let's go back. I've delivered the notice of facts.
It's because I think if you change the notice of facts, or if you argue anything that's in the notice of facts, then they get then struck out because now something's changed. If you argue an affidavit that's already on the table and try to clarify it, then that original affidavit gets blown out of the water, because then you have to make a new one.
As my good grandmother said. Right, so yes, that's what we're trying to do. It's redrafting. I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not going to make any claims. I nearly did. I probably did in court. I said no, and I had to readdress myself, which means thank you so much for your offer.
Yep.
Although we're not going to deal with that until my original counterclaim is heard. And if there's some money within that to pay that, we'll certainly look at that.
But they won't accept that, so you need to find some way of
Let's see what Peter does.
continuing on this matter of the fines. But I mean, to me, you haven't got all the information until you haven't even seen it, so you can't address it because you don't have the information.
Correct, and I'm so pleased you've come today and you've witnessed it. And you not only witnessed them not serving within the last order, I think it was Judge Manuel, you've witnessed that, you've also witnessed private discussion. I think the judge made a big mistake.
I hope I've got that. These may not have worked, but this did. I had the audio recording as well. Always have to. The last one, she spoke. The last hearing we were here a month ago, the camera didn't pick up the judge very well at all. She spoke so softly, it was extreme. How this guy actually speaks a lot louder than she does. And I see they've got their mics on too.
Oh, this building is fully recorded for us.
Yeah, but I mean,
proved it.
yeah, but at the last hearing, we could hardly hear what was going on in the courtroom. Even where I was sitting, I could hardly hear the judge speaking. At least this time round, it sounds like the Crown's mic's on. You can hear him while he's talking to the judge.
Look, the judge ordered that the public servants produce. They didn't.
Yeah. Well, their argument is they did, but you haven't seen it yet through miscommunication.
I went to my humble abode up north, and a servant had not arrived.
And that,
there.
to me, was the primary address that it should have been sent to.
Most
So
definitely
that's
so.
what you need to chase. Why wasn't it sent to 668? Because there's no record of it. If there's a signature, who signed? Because when they sign on the registered post, they also have to have the printed name, just like a JP, stamp, sign, print your name, so you know who it is. I've done that myself. I've tracked it myself. So that's my point. The fact that they sent it to Grant as well, that was, as a courtesy, you gave them that second address.
Which is, well,
outside the courtroom.
That's right.
Remember, you said, just in case I'm not there or I don't get it, send it to this place as well. And they seem to have only sent it to a lawyer whose first duty is to the court. And
he let me know it right, but he let me know it was an official SNE document.
Yeah, so
I'm happy with that. Otherwise, I would have gone on there straight away to acquire those documents immediately.
did you give them any sort of chase-up call between now and then? And they said it had already been sent, did they?
No, Greg Denham, barrister, said that the documents came from the official SNE. As you know, Mark, I'm dealing with my now.
Sure.
I'm going back to the courts of the bankruptcy to get there.
That's what I'm saying. If there's more than one matter at hand, to avoid confusion, should they not have sent it as a separate package?
I think the judge even acknowledged that there was a few matters in hand, although that's not his issue and it's not his problem. The matter in
and he
hand,
doesn't understand it anyway.
correct. And I was horrified when I heard that.
But he's what, district court, isn't he? District judge.
I think it put a smile on his face when I said I've got a highlighter for him.
Certainly made the security guard get up.
Yeah.
Thought, hello, this is fun. What's he going to highlight out? It's an offensive weapon. He's just highlighting the situation. I think they'll come in and quarter to 12 or whatever, or they'll just wait for you to be ready. Because you've got the court for the day, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, she said you've got all day to sort
Are you
it out.
Steve? No. I thought you were Steve. That's right, wrong one. Yeah, I've got another little word I'm speaking to. Okay, so hopefully let's go and stand outside the court.
Yep.
See if we can see if Peter arrives.
Yep, I'll put an end to that one. One more layer. One more level.
I'll just say he's driving from the airport as we speak.
Mhm.
Careful what we say here.
Huh?
How are you? You good, thanks. Another day in the capital yard. I said to the judge, can you please put me in prison? I said, you asked him, so be careful. $50,000 a day to put me in prison now. So if you see me there, 50 grand a day.
Mhm.
Tony, Peter's coming from the airport as we speak.
Is this the Peter I met yesterday?
Yes.
He's not coming in. You told the judge he was coming in now.
Yeah, he's delayed. Okay, so he said he'll be here at 11:45. He's just leaving the airport now.
Well, he was here yesterday. Where's he been?
Well, it's private, you know.
Right. Well, you're going to have to deal with the judge on
Yes.
that. Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm hoping he's going to adjourn it till after lunch. Otherwise, we'll just have to simply go into,
Just let the judge do his business and go and file your appeal, mate.
He's actually quite good.
Yeah, he's a good judge, this one. Yeah.
How did he know what I said in there?
I spoke to the registrar and I said, I just want to let you know that Jamie hasn't received service and this is the reason why. I told the registrar. I said, I've just spoken to the judge, to the lawyer.
Which I haven't. And I'd like,
No, okay, but I didn't speak to, I haven't spoken to the judge personally at all, and it would probably be improper for me to do so.
That answers that question, doesn't it?
I've already demonstrated to the amicus, he's already said he doesn't understand. So I've got a point of appeal, just simply that they both don't understand. So I've already got my points of appeal, bang bang.
Mm.
It's been witnessed by you. I was hoping Peter would have been here.
Yeah, they can't really you can't really resolve a dispute if you don't have a common understanding, do you? I would have thought.
Dismiss the file.
Yeah. Yeah, was it dismissed or discharged? Dismissed means it's the end of. Dismissed means you can come back and review it, doesn't it? discharge means it's the end of. I think he discharged it. He's not going to go any further with
It was
the
discharged,
older
right?
ones.
Did
Yeah,
he say that? I can't remember.
I have to review.
So how did you get it here today? Did you get it right in?
Yeah, brother-in-law dropped me off. I wasn't going through another parking problem again. I was
So
just,
how are you going to get home?
I'll jump on a bus and give them a call when I'm closer.
Oh, Tennyson, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Go around.
What do you think of it? What do you think when he said when we were in there? Would you believe that?
What?
What he said, he told the registrar. It was just too quick, wasn't it?
Well, he had the answer before you asked the question.
We went straight back and he didn't tell the registrar, did he?
I didn't see him talk to her.
No, we went straight back and the judge was already out. That's right, I didn't see him. He didn't go to the registrar, did he? He covered it up.
I didn't see him talk to the registrar, but I found it strange that you asked the question and he instantly had the answer. So he pre-thought of the answer before you asked the question, in case you picked up.
He didn't tell him.
But then that's only speculation. But, yeah.
No, he didn't talk. We walked in and I seen him. He didn't. He's lying. People.
That's without.
Den of Vipers, mate.
Well, I don't think he's going to get him in a German. So really, well, he's looking at me now, right? So they know I'm sitting out here through that camera. So we'll go. I have to go in there and just say, look, he can't come in here till after lunch. I'll see what the judge says.
Due for circumstances beyond his control. Would be a good one.
That's what he said. His last thing was, he said, I'm not going to add any more penalty. You were in custody with him 3 months and nothing. So nothing about.
And your mindset was that was just proposal given what position done it or not.
Yeah, I think he said big off. We're only getting 3 hours of living. Sorry, Matt, for the delay. I've spoken with my witness. Said he's on his way, but he's just held up at the airport. It's travel time to move to here, so that's where I'm at with him. I was just talking to the amicus and I read a train out here by the time we've already omitted for 5,031 questions, so only barely with the outstanding.
Well, perhaps you could let me know, what is it that you're wanting to call evidence about?
Prior, well, have you read this affidavit? Just, well, the amicus here hasn't grasped or hasn't used the word understood. It's people on this stuff. And people who's coming here, it's notarized, all documents at all times.
Mr. Halva.
That's correct, sir. he was with me at all times when I served the Crown and also Department of Corrections and also the New Zealand Police. We spent 2 hours with Tony Boucher that afternoon. He brought copies, it's nice of him, explaining the process, whereupon he said today he doesn't understand what we've said. So that's been noted for the record, that's our end. And Peter's going to come and explain the process a little bit more, not in depth, but just very quickly at what we've served on the Crown and the Department of Corrections, which has, those documents have been lost. And I've been trying to acquire them since, well, I've been arrested 3 times up north unlawfully, which I'm dealing with in the Court of Appeal as we speak, so the delays is sometimes can be seen my delay because I've been incarcerated. I also have been trying to deal with the matter at all times, and this is what this official ACE document is, whereupon possibly, I don't know, that Greg Jennings, who's going to be handling my insolvency side of issues, the file, the Department of Corrections may have, I'm not going to deny that, served Greg Jennings' office in Mount Road, but it could possibly have been put under the official ACE document. I can't speculate on that. Though my main address of service was over on 668 Main Highway, and I went back up there after the court case solely for that purpose, to wait for those documents. I only came down here because the evidence curator contacted me on Thursday afternoon as I'm milking a cow. I've taken my time out to come down here to deal with Tony Boucher, for him to say he doesn't understand. My provisional trustee and also my man that's been notarised with them and witnessing the documents that I've served upon the Crown. Judge Burnell, I believe it was, or Manuel adjourned the case till after lunch at the last sitting. And I gave no problems with that. Peter has come up from a long way today to give evidence today. His affidavit is in front of you, and please, this court can now adjourn till after lunch. That would be very nice. I'm trying very hard to get these matters heard, and I'm not avoiding or delaying. In fact, it's the Crown that adjourned many times and remaining silent on many occasions right into the
The problem is that the affidavit has got a notice of claim. As I told you, I'm not in a position to resolve any notice of claim.
I haven't even spoken about that today. It's got nothing to do.
You asked me to look at the affidavit. I presume that's what Mr. Alvast is going to do.
Yes, pertaining to the document served upon the informant here. The notice of claim is a totally different issue. I'm suing the Attorney General for unlawful arrest.
Okay, well that's fine. That's a separate issue. There is attached to it a document which is entitled Notice to Answer Interrogatories and Admit Facts.
Yes, something
It's
that
a civil process which was not part of this proceeding.
certainly is true. And that's what my witness is going to explain. Because the evidence here is already
The
said
other-
before, you can't understand it.
Document which is attached was an application for full disclosure. And I understand that you tell me that you were inconvenienced by not having those at your address when you returned here, but you now seem to accept that the material required for disclosure did go to the solicitor's office.
Thank you so much, sir. I've been waiting for the Crown, the informant, to deliver the documents. I've actually found them only last Tuesday, and my witness is coming. These are documents that the evidence can't understand. It's only been brought to his attention. These were served on the informant in 2012, and my witness is only going to give evidence pertaining to these documents that I was waiting for the informant to produce, which I still don't know. So I'd like to have my witness get this into evidence, at least today. Then you can make the ruling. He can be here after lunch. He's definitely coming.
Can I see the material?
Well, the last documents that I sent up to you never came back to me, so these are the only copy of it. These have to come back to me. And these are the documents that I want for my witness to explain. These are the documents that the Crown or the Department of Corrections, if not the informant, that never produced in an affidavit held us, was the man who stood beside me when I served the Department of Corrections all these documents, which is the certificate and protest of default inside it. So notice that facts and interrogatories that came later after the actual bill of exchange payment. I was waiting for the Crown to see if they were going to submit these documents. This is what this is all about. And this is why my witness is on his way. As soon as he'll be here, he can give evidence after lunch. He's come a long way. He's journeying a long way at my expense to be here. Sir. I had to adjourn last time to 2:15 at my expense. I'm asking this call to take you to say today.
So he'll be here, you say at 2:15?
Most definitely so. Skeptical on it. He'll be here and he's just... Yes, he will be here.
I'm sceptical that he's able to...
He will be here, sir.
...add material to this consideration.
He'll be adding valuable evidence, sir, which is here, and I'll be waiting for the informant to produce it and have it. Well, it certainly hasn't come up to my humble abode at 668 Main Highway. Yes, it sounds like it has gone to Greg Gibbons, Boyd Holt. We've got 700 people official access to the document. So my memorandum, I'm not sure if you read that, Your Honour, which I put in concerning all these matters, which I served on, I don't use a stamp, I served that. 12th of April, sir. You should have that one. Thank you. Well, I waited attentively for documents. Sorry. No, I waited attentively.
Just to clarify, on this point, I had seen this affidavit from Mr. Peter, so I cannot comment on the contents of that, but based on what Your Honour has referred to, in particular cases, it sounds like there's a statement of claim that relates to a potential civil proceeding. In my submission would be that it is not related to this matter that Your Honour has been asked to determine today. What we are dealing with today are the outstanding fines. There's obviously the two sets of outstanding fines, the old disputed fines, which Your Honour has indicated, as I understand, you will be waiving, and then we have these new, more recent fines, the $2,400 fines, which have been incurred since the July 2013 period. My submission is that there isn't any point crossing this matter off until 2015, but given that I would go further than Your Honour, scepticism and say that on the available information, I just can't see how we're going to go any further in relation to the $2,400 in outstanding fines. My submission would be that if Jamie is not prepared to accept Your Honour's, my submission, generous offer to actually revoke those old disputed fines and then either agree that the $2,400 in fines is owing or otherwise substitute that sentence, then Jamie will need to comply with the Section 78B process in relation to the more recent fines and actually set out to the Ministry of Justice follow the process in terms of disputing those new fines, set out why he disputes those fines. He now has all of this information, and then that will need to be dealt with on another occasion. It is not appropriate in my submission to simply weigh those additional fines and circumstances where there isn't any evidence or information before the court that they are not properly owing unless Jane can persuade Your Honour how Peter can speak to that, then that would be wasting Your Honour and the court's time. And in any event, Jane does need to follow that proper procedure, and there is good reason for these procedures. Those would be my submissions.
Regarding Hobart,
Well, today is right in the sense that you either have to provide evidence that the fines aren't owing in Section 71B, or else if they are owing, then I'll have to make a determination as to what's happening.
well, I think it's just silly that when we look to my company, what happened? I went to a court in place. How did he come? And that benefits, I'm telling you, court that's your case. It hasn't been brought to my attention. I'd like to view it.
What he's saying is that you have the documentation now, without doubt, and if you're in a position to be able to argue those, then that's the date at which we will be arguing them, one way or another, pursuant to the probation.
It's very relevant that my witness gives evidence to this court, but when you notice,
So
the Crown's
this is
design.
evidence directed at whether you owe these fines imputed after the date that you were released from custody. So we're going to be able to determine the issue in relation to 78B today.
We're going to have some lunch. And we'll do that after lunch. Is it a problem?
No, that's right. That's been denied. So, yes, Mr. Cotter?
So I had the opportunity of meeting yesterday and with Jamie, and what we spoke about, and I thought was the central part of our discussion was the amounts outstanding which the Crown Court roll in disputed fines. Now that's the one side, and we're now dealing with what the Crown referred to as the current fines, I think the more recent fines. Now, under 78B, the Crown rightly pointed out that there was no fine imposed for him to challenge those fines. Now, what we've done is we've really the Lockett has actually drastically reduced the amount at issue. Rather than holding the court up, Your Honour, I submit there might be merit in adjourning the matter to allow him the opportunity, given that we've now got the disclosure, to go through those fines which date back to 2014, to see whether or not he has got any offence under 78B. My understanding, sir, and Jamie will correct me if I'm wrong, is that the evidence we're going to give that's going to be given is going to relate to which matters about 2012, 2013, which is predate the 2014 fines. So
I've already gone this way.
yes, you have. So we're now just dealing with 2014 forward, and I suspect that the evidence that is going to be given deals with pre-2014. I might be wrong on this score, sir.
I'll stand it down and let you chat.
Okay.
If that's the
Yes,
case,
okay,
then
right.
there's
If
no
you
need
do that,
to
and
deal
then,
with that. And I will give Jamie time to look at the later ones.
Thank
And
you.
I'll give a preliminary ruling so that the position is clear as far as the earlier portion is provided. part of it and deal with it, and I will write off that portion of the fines, leaving only the later portion. And if necessary, I'll deal with that, but I'll give another date so that that can be reviewed. So I'll retire briefly if you can't.
So there's one thing I wouldn't mind is the copy of the order from the Judge Bagwell, the last hearing. I still haven't received that.
All right, well, I've got that, so I won't give it to you now, I'll give it to you shortly. So just have a break, chance to talk with Mr. Bosher, and then I'll come back. All right? Thank you.
Well, if you can do it in due course, I'll postpone.
Yesterday we discussed, can you just close the door, please? Yesterday we discussed.
Just hold it. He's actually quite young anyway. Let me just do all this and see if Peter's an account. Seconds.
He's here in 60 seconds.
I can speak to him in 60 seconds. What I'm going to do is put my provisional trustee on the table. 60 seconds.
Okay.
Will we just wait, please?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
It's Peter, right?
Yes, he's my provisional trustee, as well as he's notarised every single document to the terrorism charges. It's quite serious, Tony. I just can't make one mistake. 60 seconds. Okay. And I hope he can do two things at once, which is possibly really. I don't think there's any point him coming because I don't want him to rush here. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now what's happened, I've just walked out, I'm sitting with Tony in a room, and he's just, I'd like you to be privy to the conversation now. Are you capable of doing two things at once?
I'm out of the meeting at the moment. It was having a break.
Right. As you know, I have a coffee in my shower. Are you able to operate a chariot as well as come here at the same time? Anyway, let's just sit down. I'm going to put the table on the table. Have a listen, please. Can you listen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Peter, where we are at the moment is that there are two lots of fines. There are the fines that were dealt with when Jamie was in prison, and there are the fines that were incurred after he came out of prison in 2014.
Right.
Now the fines that were not dealt with while he was in prison, to the sum of $4,663, have been remitted without penalty, so there's no issue about those fines.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Now, Jane wants you to give evidence, but I don't think that any of the evidence, and I've got to tell you, last night I went right through that Bill of Exchange Act 1908, from cover to cover, mate, and I still cannot pick up the thread of your. But if I can just finish. So we're now just dealing with the sum of $2,400.36 or thereabouts.
How much?
2,400, yeah. And these are fines that were incurred after January. I've got the fine summary in front of me. These are the fines that were incurred by somebody beginning 16th of May 2014. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 tickets, right? Now these tickets predate your bill of exchange. Now, so I don't know that you can give any relevant evidence as far as that is concerned, and that maybe you need to have another crack at that. But the thing is that Jamie has got a right, and I don't think that any of the evidence, and I don't think that any of the evidence, and maybe you need to have another crack at that. But the thing is that, is that Jamie has got a right, and I don't think that any of the evidence, and maybe you need to have another crack at that. But the thing is that, is that Jamie has got a right, to challenge those fines dealing, all on period 2014 to 2015, under section 78B. There's no time limit. And I'm suggesting to the judge that he put this off to give Jamie the opportunity of properly constructing his opposition to those fines.
Yes.
So that's where we're at the moment.
Well, the thing is, we were supposed to have this meeting from 10 till 11:30, and the head of, the general manager of Fletcher's only arrived like 11:15.
You don't want to know that, do you?
Yeah, no.
So that's the problem, okay? So,
What I'm saying, I don't think you can actually give any evidence which is relevant to those fines incurred mainly in 2014 and a couple of 2015.
Yep, okay. Well, why don't they have, sounds like there's three sets of fines. There's some that have been remitted without penalty, which is obviously unknown parties.
All the ones when he was in custody that weren't remitted are now remitted without penalty. They're gone. Forget about them. So we're only dealing with 2014 on, and then I calculated 2,600. They want to be 2,400. I might be wrong.
Just one moment, please. I've got an alarm going off to ring you, but in half an hour, but that's sort of just not scheduled. So can you say the last sentence again?
So forget about the $4,000 that when he was in prison, they've gone without penalty, they're remitted. We're only dealing now with fines that were incurred after he came out, which were incurred from the 16th of May through to the 11th of November 2014-2015.
Right.
Well, my point is this, is Jane wants to put it off for you to come to court to give evidence this afternoon at 2:15. I don't think that your, apropos to our conversation yesterday, I don't think your evidence is relevant at all, and what we should do is give Jamie the opportunity under section 98 and all the grounds, I've got all the grounds here that he can challenge those fines, and you can include your bill of exchange argument if you like, or begin that bill of exchange process again, or whatever.
Right. Hello?
Yep, so
I'm waiting for you to speak.
we're waiting for you to speak.
Yeah, I've got 5 people trying to phone me.
What did you talk to us? Just leave the phone here and deal with us.
Look, I can't stop the phone ringing, okay?
Okay, good.
I've got one phone, 5 people are ringing me on well.
Look, I've just missed, Peter, I've just missed 3 calls talking to you. Okay?
I've got to turn it off. It's just going beep in my ear.
Yeah, let's put the seatbelt and deal.
I missed what you were saying. You don't know anything.
Yeah, right, so Peter, I guess what I'm saying, and with my lawyers hat on, is that unless your evidence is relevant to this issue of those post-2014 fines, the judge is not going to hear your evidence.
No, I can understand.
And all we're doing is wasting our time waiting to 2:15 for you to come in to be told that.
Yes, I would agree with that, because
Right.
the bill of exchange basically covered everything free, which is gone to
Yeah,
jail.
that's right, exactly. Yeah, and that's off the table now. Okay.
So I'll just put these on hold. They can slipstream the other ones through the notice of claim. I'll screen them, stop me out, I'll throw a bankruptcy. So that's how we'll deal with it. Yep.
Yeah, now, just so everything's clear, on what we said yesterday, the 6th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, we contacted Greg. He said the only files that are on the OA's office.
Yeah, we understand all that.
No, the Department of Collections fine was posted to Greg Denham's place. Okay, it was there.
We contacted Greg. We were told that.
He's just spoken to Tony, look, he just spoke to Tony Boucher, and the file's posted on the 30th.
I know, Jamie, shut up, please. Tony,
Yep.
when we spoke to Greg on Monday, he said, no, it hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah.
Today, he tells us this morning, but, there's a whole bundle there.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to Greg. I've spoken to Greg about that, and I've explained that to the judge, and the
And
judge.
we apologise that we
the judge understands
It
that.
wasn't intentional, we're not trying to make anything else.
Yeah, not an issue. The judge understands that. So What I'm suggesting is that rather than us waiting for 2:15, you come to court to the judge to say that your evidence is not relevant because it deals with the fines while he's in prison, off the table, that we're better off getting an adjournment and giving Jamie the opportunity of filing a challenge to the fines under, and I've got all the grounds for doing that, and you can include your bill of exchange argument. We'll start that process again. Start that bill of exchange. Yeah, okay?
Right?
Right, yeah. JB.
Hang on.
Okay. So, okay, thanks, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so no rush to get here.
Okay, that's good. Now,
I'm waiting to
we can discuss everything else. So you're basically going to wind it up before lunch now?
Yes.
And adjourn it all to give you a chance to see out the paperwork?
Yes.
And I'd like you to make Greg Denham's office the address of service, not that Kura.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Anything going forward, because I'm not trusting that Kura address at all.
I was there every day, it didn't come, but yeah, fair enough.
Okay?
Yep. Okay,
Or
good.
even Tony's address, someone's address and all.
No, we'll keep it, Greg. Hey, so there's no rush, alright? So don't rush out in bloody traffic.
Okay.
I'll go and have a cup of coffee with Mark and with whenever. So you're staying out there for another hour or two?
Well, could be 3/4 of an hour or so.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll go back in Don in a minute.
Yeah, alright. Don't need, yeah, alright, cool. Okay, thanks Peter. Bye. Bye.
Get it adjourned today.
Yeah.
Give you a chance to look through everything. I get what they're saying about 2:14 onwards.
They don't want these to hear, it's all good. Thanks, man.
No worries.
The opportunity of speaking Jamie's witness, and I suspect that his evidence related to matters predating 2014 which the current fines, and he acknowledges that. Now, given that there has been a disclosure problem, sir, Jamie now has the full court documents with all the details, the correspondence, the summaries, etc., etc. And I'm going to seek the indulgence of the court for adjournment, or perhaps a month, for him to consider his position under Section 78B to challenge those fines. There's no time limit. It's not a large sum, so we've now reduced the sum considerably, so in the ordinary course of events it might result in a meeting, and this it could well result in a meeting, sir, and that he negotiates something with the department. So seeking an adjournment, sir, 1 month, and that gives him that opportunity, and if he wants to call it out, so that he can come back in a month. The court satisfied that Sydney has been, because the registrar will then deal with that Sydney investigation charge.
Yes, thank you. Now, Judge Manuel's decision is only in draft form, it's not signed.
Okay, thank you.
I've read that draft, and it broadly is exactly as things have been discussed.
Thank you.
I will, when that's signed, it will be released. It really provides for today's date being allocated, and it provides for the rules that were set out, which are now observed I'll issue a decision in which I will limit the amount down to the Lisa sum. I'll have the registrar now give you a date so that everybody knows what that date will be. Sorry? 7th July. Is that convenient? Yes.
Well, certainly, no, it's not.
Well, the reason I'm giving it is so that you know well in advance when it is,
I appreciate
what
that.
challenge these things, that you do that.
I'm actually more interested in getting Judge Manuel's order. That's what I'm waiting for.
You want to when it is signed off, perhaps it could be emailed to me and maybe posted again to Greg Bearman's office.
Yes, we'll post it to the
And also your decision today, sir.
It was very unfortunate, it's going to be that file.
We'll get that material to you, and I'll record that.
Yes, sir, thank you, sir, that sounds, since there's been any other comment, my friends, Bernard friends already alluded to it, if it can just be noted that that process does need to follow the section 78
Yes, I have.
process.
Right. The decision's going to include that you need to follow the section 78 process, which I've set out in the decision, so you have a copy of that, which is what you need to do. So if there are going to be challenges to the 2,500 odd fines that remain, they need to be specified in advance. The decision which I produce will include that.
Most definitely so, sir. I look forward to receiving it. Now, I won't be able to proceed until I see Judge Manuel's judgment order. So the sooner that can come, the better. And you're late enough into this. Thank you so much.
Yes, and when that's signed, we'll get a copy of it out to Mr. Bosher, to the solicitor's address. I'm not sure whether it will also be sent to your personal address, but we'll get that decision out once it's been signed by everyone.
Thank you for your time today, sir.
All right? Any other matters?
All right. Well, I suppose I would ask if you would pay me now.
Well,
I'll do that
they
fine.
don't accept your position, just that you don't accept.
I won't even bother asking.
All right, so now it's adjourned until the July date, and it'll be a full decision, and you'll also get Judge Manuel's decision. Okay.
Well, no, I would like to receive the decision as soon as now. I'd like to have it immediately. Am I not allowed to have a copy of that immediately?
When she signed it, at the moment it's only in a draft form, so she's got to sign the document before I let it be released.
Yeah, but I see her do that. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Tony. I'll see you later, eh? Yeah.
Cheers. Nice.
You got it right?
Yeah.
Watch it.
Nice.
Got signed.
Once that gets signed, you.
Criminals. I've got 7 criminals. Oh, but hardly will never wait.
That gets. I don't know. What's a hint?
Right, this is a copy, eh? Oh, Seth Jones, still up to Seth Jones now.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I knew that Janine Clark was down there, so I was a bit worried that her crew was something to do with it. She visited that man down there, but I've just heard only my daughter's just texted me saying, okay, I'll stand by. I'll stand by. Yeah, John, I can't believe that a policeman has gone and shot somebody with a policeman's gun. Yes. Yeah, okay. Well, do you think that Dan Thompson could be? Do you think that Dan Thompson's something to do with the car? I'll only just amazing, very interesting. I certainly they won't be giving me a check. They want it to go away. The fines just suddenly disappeared.
But you won't be giving them a check either.
Yeah, the fines just disappeared. Yeah, they are assholes. Well, I can't believe that a policeman is shooting people down in the car. Well, what are the matters pertaining to that? Okay, thank you.
Huh?
Well, okay, so I've just received a text. It's breaking news. Being charged for the murder and attempted murder of another.
Coppers.
Police officer who shot his partner and another man yesterday over COVID.
Unreal.
Unreal. They are dangerous people. The police, and it just comes up, I just have to go PR, and it's police are dangerous people. Be careful. Dangerous people. Be careful.
Do you know what I find it tends to make them behave themselves more? It's one of these things. It makes any public servant behave themselves a little bit better when they've got a camera on it.
Most definitely so, and I find not being finding that's helping me out as well.
I go everywhere with it. Any public servant. You should have a look at part 6 of photography in public places on my channel. I sat there for 40 minutes with a couple of the Auckland council workers in the council building.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because they were trying to stop me from recording the film in a public place.
Yeah, I saw that.
Their policy doesn't override.
I was horrified.
They've rewritten their policy, but they're still saying that I need to get consent from people that I capture that are identifiable in the background myself, and I'm going, no. And when I go back to Westway and continue to film, if you guys come involve me, then I'm going to arrest you, because you're infringing on my rights.
That's what we need to start doing. That's sort of been raising the table of the people that are involved in what we're doing. We now need to start enforcing in their jurisdiction exactly that.
That's what I'm doing. I get them re-educated, retrained, because they're doing things wrong. To think that a public servant has the right of an expectation of privacy while they're working as a public servant, no, they fucking don't. They gave that up and they're getting working. It's like you say to them, if you've got staff that have got problems with being recorded in the public sector, seek medical help and go to the private sector.
They certainly not being recorded. I'm well with
She said to me, well, you're not allowed to record vets in the Privacy Act. Oh, yeah, what section? Got the Privacy Act right here. She couldn't. She was talking about it, and Selwyn, the other guy that was in the meeting, said, oh, that guy's being prosecuted for filming on the beach. And he actually sent me the court case, and it was to do with a guy that was hunched down behind a 4x4, zooming in on little girls in bikinis. That's not me with a GoPro going down a hydro slide, filming into the pump. You know, and I'm saying you can't compare apples with oranges, because that's what you're doing.
So you just heard me talking with Scott,
Yeah.
with his dog case, which I think my important appeal is to, I've got it, read the system and get it back into the High Court. It's a
tricky one, isn't it?
Go to the High Court. District's going to help.
It's been to the High Court and she's lost. The dog's been ordered to be killed.
So
euthanised.
So now she's going to appeal that decision.
That's what my job is. I'm going to try and save the dog's life. There's the order. And I'm not going to charge for that. So I like to help people who are rich. In need. And she's in need.
Just a couple of days ago, I was, how's this for right? A couple of days ago, the local Uruguay road there, old EUR 581. A mufti speed camera was parked there. And I have fun with speed cameras. And he was parked there, and I've got my signs in the back of the car, speed camera ahead. So whenever I see a speed camera, I just stop up the road all the way and stick a sign around speed camera ahead. And I've got the New Zealand website, police website saying they prefer not to issue infringement tickets. You're welcome, New Zealand police, glad I can help. I'm keeping the speed down, I'm saving you from having to issue infringement tickets. I'm saving everybody, it's a win-win-win. Right, so no one's getting any tickets and everybody's slowing down because they see no signs. And it's perfectly illegal. I'm not obstructing nothing. And I was walking along the other day, sticking the sign on the ground and big right traffic and go, oh, what a brilliant told us to do this. Yeah, right. Yes. It's warning.
Police station with a film crew and film it,
The bigger vans click 5 times more infringements than the marked vehicles. And I'm talking through facts that I've actually got from them. I got 66 of their deployment registers off the speed cameras. Because for the 3.5 years I've recorded 78 odd cameras back then. I'm up to 84 now. I've recorded 78 of them, and I just put an official information act request for the police for all of the deployment registers for these vehicles when I got these dates that I can verify on camera.
And he ran over my foot.
They gave me 66. A couple of them,
because I was saying
they had the plate number of the speed camera.
Because I'd already
they were saying
sent the cop that
this marked speed camera was parked at the
an
spot.
invoice for his
Well,
3
my
orders he
camera
gave me on
shows
the
that it was a
road.
marked
And then in
vehicle.
November he
Hello,
calls me
hello,
over
hello?
again, and I said to
Well,
him,
that's
he's
not
asked me
accurate
to
deployment
just
register,
wondering if you've got a
they've got the wrong
license.
information. And they say, well, you're just requesting if you've got a license vehicle. Okay, no, I'm not alleging anything.
Is that an order or a
Here's the
request?
video evidence
Well, I'm not
proving
ordering
what I'm telling you. So why don't you go back and talk to your deployment register boys and tell them to make sure they get the right rego plates on their registers.
And their whole argument
had a
was
word
that
to
I
all the guys in the cameras and telling them to make sure they do this shit properly.
request by an enforcement officer, and I says, well,
Yeah,
there was no enforcement officer present. He identified himself as Constable Neil Winterbottom, so I assumed he was there upholding the Queen's peace.
I can't enforcing legislative rules. Section 14, all right, so I have the right to record and impart information and any walkways for my secret.
And their argument was, well,
Section
Section
14.
4 and enforcement officer is the same thing.
So what sort of footage do you want to do in the future?
One's an officer of
I've
the
got
Background
anything.
Corporation,
I mean,
and the other one's
I'll replace the
constable under his own
bearings in my ride-on lawnmower. I'll show you how to do this going on. Show you how I've renovated one of the rooms of the house, or replacing the whole everything. Everything I do, to replacing a top washer on a floor. You know, it's just there. Everything I do is to show others
just
how to
using their own words against
they don't know, because when I don't know how to do
respond.
something, I go into YouTube, how to fix a washing machine, it's the rotor position sensor.
Refused it.
I
20 minutes, and
I called the
spent
court every day
for
a week prior to find out
who he was.
$200 for some prick to come and do it
So I can
5-minute
apply
job.
my motions to the correct judge.
That's all I do. Shit. Pay it forward, I guess is the word.
Yeah, I have to take a gearbox out of the
But I
Savara.
would have thought as a part of the proceedings I had a right to know.
Perfect.
Some clever prick has already done it and shown me how. They took me to all I did that out. I'm doing it with the law stuff as well. You know,
With the emails to the building
refuse
services manager,
anything, accept everything.
the guy who runs Northfield District Court,
He was all up for conditional acceptance.
I gave him notice that I was going to be reporting in court on that.
He's going, oh, you need to request it. I said, I'm not requesting anything. I'm letting you. Yeah, what I'm saying I should be doing is it's my right to do so.
He's a very, very smart man.
I haven't seen
using their words back, and I go,
seems to have gone off the grid a bit. Don't see him
Did you like
much
your
anymore.
license to merry-go-round? And I'm not too many people watching this video.
What, take it from one hand because he doesn't get given the
Two's
ball.
confused.
Take it out of your system,
Peter
traffic around. Who doesn't understand what I'm
Peter doesn't want
They're just
to
taking money out from one to the other.
really get it out there yet until we've got a precedent case, which we're trying to do now. Tony Boucher.
I've got a few that I put up with call the meanings of words, call them mate straight away, letting people know exactly what the actual words in legislation actually mean. To piss you off. You know, don't think an appearance means that you've got to physically show up somewhere. An appearance is a memorandum of novation. It's a piece of paper. Leave the Crown had you know, you can stand in the courtroom and argue. You're not a person all day long. Decency to ask you what you'd like to be addressed as. You tell your own therefore, don't call me something, and he continues to call it. Yeah, how really doesn't address. Exactly. But you're still answering for you. How do you? Well, I always say I can't speak for you. Only me, myself, and I.
They're supposed to transcript that and just simply say that I'm here to act for the Crown.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, cop. Take that home and have a read. It's all sorts of fun. It goes to show, and there were legal arguments, and the James Gallagher, the police prosecutor, even said to me, he says, perhaps you'd need, Your Honour, perhaps you'd like to have a word with the medical officer in this too. Trying to say that all my kids have learned, and I just says, really, James, don't take shit from the school. And what training do you have to make that legal determination? You know, just instantly shut them down. Prosecutor was just objection, and I couldn't even replace the video because they've been outdated in their services. They couldn't play an MP4 file. I brought it in on disc. I should have brought my fucking TV screen because I showed them Neil running over my shit down there, which was swept under the rug. Was given to a senior sergeant to investigate the IPCA complaint. We just swept it under.
He wants me to go to the police station and find out if
both transcripts are there, and so you don't have to read it. You just go put it on and listen to it for an hour. It reads it all for you. Cop the job. You just put it just send official information and request it to whoever issues the license and ask them if that's a valid one. Take no offence to the flat earth stuff. We are on a flat earth, whether you like it or not. Because they have to respond to it. Have you ever seen water conform to the outside of a wall? That's all I do. Whenever I ask a question, water will always under the level inside the container. Is that it? Can you please? Have you ever seen water stick to the outside of a wall? Yeah, he says ask you to put it in writing. Yeah. He's not going to demolish the earth.
But if I go up to Simple Police Station, so it's Dan Thompson's still without. Can I go up there and ask them that?
What gravity?
And they give me the information?
Are you talking about the law of gravity? They may or may not give you the information. Theory of gravity can't be expressed. Law of gravity, what goes up must come down naturally. There is no gravity. It's mass density, buoyancy in the atmosphere, air conditioning them other than put it. I drop that you need to send in the air. Give you an email address. It's got nothing to do with this magical force called gravity. But who already issues the gun licenses? Who you need to ask? It's a flat, motionless plane.
Where's that argument? I don't need until he's placed in war.
What do you mean? Well, it's the difference between because it's only the last 500 years we've all thought the Earth was round. Are you recording at the moment? It was flat. Are you? And people will go, your camera's around me, mate. Anywhere I see a camera, I pull out mine. The Incans, the Egyptians, the Nordics, all of their systems of belief and societal structures were based on a flat Earth with an overclosed firmament or a dome. You know, so the argument is between geocentric and heliocentric. You've got a good outcome today. Look at the way the sun happens. Yeah. You know, when you see the sun just above the clouds, you see the rays of light sprawl out like that. They all go to a central point. Well, the sun is 93 million miles away, and we're all getting bathed by the same lateral light from the sun.
The good thing of today.
Why does it go like that?
I've learned that
because it's a very close, likewise sun that is orbiting above us with the moon. It's mind-blowing. Gyroscopes. How come the gyroscopes not working upside down where we are?
He said, "I'm going to get it'll be."
Gyroscopes will always stay flat in the horizon.
That's the main.
If a plane is travelling 500 miles an hour,
I want to see Judge Manuel.
In 500 miles, that's over a mile of drop on a curved wall. The curvature of the Earth's like 2,500. I think I've got one here. There's an order there, which means that if the plane is travelling at 500 miles an hour, it's going to have continually keep its nose dipped because he's already watched me and his preliminary, but they never do. He stopped me for a while across a horizontal surface, right at the feathered hearing when I went there from a speed. And have you ever seen two opposing barometric systems without a barrier? Posted my preliminary hearing. So how does the vacuum of space law? I'd already posted it up on YouTube. It's an electromagnetic universe, and he'd seen that before independent hearing. so he made
there is no,
and made me sign the acknowledgement,
and then a pressurised
to
system
stop him
without something between
to
them.
not record in court.
And yet we're supposed to believe
I'd
it's a
already
big human
given
space.
They never signed these.
Satellites aren't even real, mate.
But,
Satellites
I mean,
are
I've
the
got
size of a school bus.
I'm going to take
School
him.
bus, you can put
Just
6 or
he's
8
the
school buses
president
of
of
the
the
size of
JP
a
Association. So he
you
is.
see a 747 or 777
I'm taking him to small
up in the
claims
air,
because he gave me an
30,000
order
feet,
to
you barely
remove
make
my
it out,
video
and
clips
yet we're
off
supposed to
YouTube.
believe we can see satellites.
He doesn't have jurisdiction over that.
They're all,
So I'm gonna, so I
tethered
send him an
to,
invoice, and then I send him a reminder, and then I send him a final notice, and then I send him a notice of legal proceedings from Antarctica, the Ministry of Justice. And I'm sending this all to Selwyn Haywood and his home address because the Antarctic Treaty. We're a war everywhere else. That's okay. You know why they don't want? There was Operation Dominique, Operation. Yeah, well that. And this, I'm just going to take down there now. Court when I can report. There's heaps of footage of weather balloons where people have launched up their own and taking. It's only a $25 removal camera's fee. Taking a shot. He's just not seeing the sun and the moon in the same place. And but that's supposed to be a case precedent. In my book, how can you see both? The judge is going to give an order because it's a flat plane.
You see the photo on my Facebook? You love this.
No, the drone.
Yeah.
No.
They used to be allowed at phenom.com, but they ordered it down.
Well, they're spying on you.
No,
Okay.
no,
LAUDA.
Yeah, allowed at phenom. I want to get into drones. That's bonding judges pertaining to taking stuff down.
I had an argument with the RNZAF because they were flying the Hercules or Orion above us, and they flew real high, like a couple of hundred.
One of the next door, one of the persons on there.
Yeah, it turns out after living there for 20 years that it's a restricted area where I live. They control the up to 7,500 feet to zero is there. So I'm supposed to ask them permission before I got this on my quadcopter. Auto reader. So I've been flying it for years without permission. But that's where he refused to identify himself. Gets great panoramic shots during the 4-hour court case. The judge. I said, who are you? Oh, it's not really good saying he made me sign a camera. I said, who ordered this? He goes, I did. And he says, well, I said, I need to know who you are. He refused to identify himself.
John Mackey, please. Yeah, I can.
See, I start off. I always start off on the fact that, when I ring for about dog registration, I'll ring up the Lee Exler, who's the dog control manager, senior dog control, whatever, at the council, and I'll say, Lee, mate, you and I, we're both men, yeah? And he goes, yep. I go, all right, so we're equal. He goes, yeah. I said, so where do you get off telling me I've got to register my property?
You're going to register your property?
Yeah, the dog. It's mine. I look after it. I paid for it. I do the upkeep. Council don't do anything towards it, so where do I have to, what is the obligation to register? And he goes, well, under the Dog Control Act, any person must. Oh, really? You're going to start calling me names? This is what I say to him. You're going to start calling me names. You're calling me a person.
Well, that's why I called that lady out there a human, but she didn't grasp that.
No.
So what do you think of me on the Outrageous Fortune House?
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
A lot of people like that one. Okay, so we want to go to. Oh yeah, what do you think of that photo I put up the other day?
Nice.
Yeah, so you need to get that off my website.
Yeah, I can download that.
Okay, so.
Oh, mint. The flying car, eh?
It's happening. It's going to be upon us very, very soon.
They've already made them people flying drones just with amateur drones and stuff.
Oh, it's all
just a pod.
I'll have one of those.
Should you?
Yeah, I'll have a parachute.
Then you have air restrictions. But this was supposed to happen a couple of years ago, according to Back to the Future.
No, it's happening now.
Back to the Future, it should have already happened.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be more. It's going to be happening. But what I want to do is start spying on them.
Yeah.
Cool, eh?
I love it.
Yeah, so it's on my Facebook.
Ministry of Justice, eh?
69 Albert Street.
B-roll footage.
Interviewing parking wardens, have you?
No, just pissing them off. I'll sit in the car park and then wait for them to come and tell me I've got 15 minutes, and then I'll wait until they come back. And just as they're about to give me a ticket, I'll then pull away. Then I'll park 2 parks down and then come up and film and give the other people tickets.
We probably should have been here at 1 o'clock to see who came out of the building for lunch and to see who's going back in.
God knows. Horrible place. Horrible place.
I just want to make sure my tools out of here. Very, very horrible. Very, very horrible place.
What does that say? Sorry, just trying to get the stone thing.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, Carol.
Yeah, this one here was Judge Burnett. She's in top.
Sorry, Burnett's legal disco. Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's the one that put me in jail when I had live access proceedings. What is the deal there?
It weeds out the ones that are sensitive.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
They get all iffy. Oh, he can't film me.
Yeah, well, so I think they just said, oh, they're filming out there, so we're allowed to out here. Yeah, I think the girls are saying something about guard over there now.
Well, they can. She had a problem with me in the courtroom too. She didn't say anything. I swear she called that security guard out to the back chambers there to tell her. There's Scott.
Have a good day, Scott. He's quite a big guy, he's quite cool.
Wow. It's up here. Yeah, I often watch the First Amendment audits that they do over in America. They just go walking around filming the police stations, and they come out and arrest them and do all sorts of shit. I find that humorous as hell. It's amazing when you point a camera, it makes everybody look. My special gun grip.
I'm surprised I got good footage off the Hemi Tail one for the little song shot I had.
Oh, it works good.
Yeah.
That prick with the fucking weed eater could have shut up.
Yeah.
Quicker though. It was a bit much.
It can only be the police that are making these horrible comments.
Oh yeah, sock accounts. Oh, 0 subscribers on there. You just click on their name and it'll take you to their channel and it'll show you they've got 0 subscribers, 0. It's just a sock account they use them to sling shit. So I just block them.
Oh, can I block most people?
Just right, there's a little down arrow next to their name and you just block them or report them or...
Can I remove their comment? I can actually remove
you can. Yeah. Just you can censor them and do it that way. I usually just report them. If they're being nasty, I report them as harassment. So it's a strike against them.
I thought this weekend I might remove a couple of comments off there.
Yep, of course you can.
Yeah, so I'll try and... Yeah, I'll remove a couple of the bad ones. I think some guys made bad because now I've got my new phone now and I've got my new laptop. So I haven't had time to sit up. Probably over in here. I'll just shoot up there, right?
Yeah.
You wait here?
Yeah, mate. Good as.